And tonight, the 3-0 Vulcans take on the Sea Wolves of Alaska Anchorage, who enter in with a record of 1-1. Welcome courtside here to our broadcast position alongside Russ Blunk. I'm Josh Pacheco. It's good to see you. Russ, this has been an incredible stretch. I don't know how many teams across the country, regardless of division, NAIA, NCAA, etc., I don't know how many can say they have done 6 games in 7 days. How on earth has this Vulcan team done it?
First, welcome back, Josh.
Thank
really
you.
nice to have you back in Hilo. Well, first of all, you can't do it. You have to get an exemption to play 6 and 7 days. We had to do that to play those extra games. But yeah, at no level I've ever heard of, including the NBA, would they ever play 6 games in 7 days. And I know even with Anchorage, they were playing 3 games in 6 days. They thought that was a lot, but they haven't said anything since looking at our schedule.
I mean, the NBA, they have something called load management. We don't do that here in college basketball. But what's been impressive is how UH Hilo in the last three games that have counted, outside of the first 2 exhibition losses to the University of Hawaii and to Pacific, is how many players have had to be involved in order to do it. And Kaniata Iona has said, the Vulcan head coach, they have had to use at times almost the entirety of the bench to get it done. But that makes it even more impressive that you've had to use all those bodies and still, in these games that count, be able to pull off important wins.
Yeah, he's used all 13 players. He's deep. He's deep. I think in any situation they're going to play 9 or 10 for sure, but especially the other night against Simpson when it was the 5th game in 5 days, the benches were clearing early, and I don't think anybody played more than 22 minutes on that night. Yeah.
You said something very important to me a little while ago, is this is where, even though this is the final game and you can take a deep breath after this for a little while, this feels a little more important even as compared to all of those other ones. This is a regional opponent. It is Alaska Anchorage, and it is the first of 2 appearances that these 2 teams will have against one another. So it feels like the importance level with this game just got kind of pushed up a notch.
For sure. I know I've heard Coach say it, and it makes sense that out of their first 7 games, this is the most important one, right? And so it is an in-region opponent. It's a team that's traditionally been one of the top teams in the region year in and year out, and so a victory here would kind of help just add to our presence on the new map with Coach Iona. And so and again, like you said, Josh, it's actually next week. We will be in Alaska,
right.
Not you and I, unfortunately, but to play the same Anchorage team and then also the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
Yeah, it is an impressive schedule. Maybe this is a preview of what to expect there at the Alaska Airlines Center next week. But first things first, an opportunity to go to 4-0. Anchorage playing its final game of 3 in their Hawaii stretch. 1 at Hawaii Pacific, lost at Chaminade before getting here. So they are 1-1 before playing 4 consecutive at home starting in 3 days. So we come back, we'll tell you what needs to get done for Hawaii Hilo to get to 4-0. That when we come back before the Sea Wolves and the Vulcans. This is UH Hilo basketball on KPUA.
When it's time to grind, it's Blaine's Drive-In.
And it's always time to grind at game time. Call Blaine's locations in Honoka'a, Orchidland, or Hilo. Place your party platter order and have it ready for the game. Choose from local favorites: terry beef, mahi-mahi, Portuguese sausage, chicken katsu, or hot dog. Available in small or large platters and ready the same day. For daily specials, be sure to follow Blaine's on Facebook and Instagram.
When it's time to grind, it's Blaine's Drive-In.
For professional tech solutions you can rely on Pacific ProTech. Whether you have a mom and pop's business or are running a corporation, Pacific ProTech can provide the service you need. Whether it be networking, servicing, and maintenance, or simply upgrading and buying a new computer, no job is too big or too small. Pacific ProTech serves the entire Big Island and is locally owned and operated. Pacific ProTech. To inquire, call 935-8081 or visit our website, pacificprotech.com.
KPUA.
And back at the Fukushima Civic Auditorium, minutes away from Hawaii Hilo and Alaska Anchorage. Back with Russ Blunk, I'm Josh Pacheco. Let's talk about what needs to get done for Hawaii Hilo to improve to 4-0. Where does it start for you tonight?
Well, I don't know. I think in 5 games in 5 days, they had a lot of adrenaline going those last couple of days. And I kind of think about how they had a day off yesterday. Sounds like a great thing, but who knows if it was or not. I know they just had shoot-arounds and they've gone over some offensive stuff. So, but Anchorage's going to be a little bit tired too. And the one thing about Alaska Anchorage right now, they didn't have a season at all last year. They did not play a single game in the spring of 2021 like everybody else did. Coach Iona had a chance to get his program established, play 12 games, and has already played a number of games today. So it's a rare occurrence that we kind of have a little bit more basketball under our belt than the opponent that we're playing. It doesn't always work out like that.
Biblically, you rest on the 7th day.
Right.
They do that on the 6th, but whatever works. One of the things that Coach Iona said to me earlier today, I asked him, well, how do you handle this kind of a game when you get toward this back end of these 7 days? Do you shorten your bench? Do you still go with running out 13 guys like you did previously? And he said, the game will kind of dictate that. If this is one of those games where foul trouble, it's tight, that could dictate whether we see 13 guys or you see it get knocked down, squished down to about 10, 11. But he did say, and I know you can attest to this in watching them the first couple of games, the role players on this team that have come off the bench have performed very well, and he wants to keep extending that instead of maybe limiting that and not seeing that kind of presence from those coming off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a player and a coach, you want to know your role, right? And so you got a lot of guys with roles. That keeps everybody happy, keeps everybody in the flow, and that's kind of what I've seen so far. And I've just watched the games that I could on stream and the 2 games we've had here. And the guys that got coming off the bench are good, solid players who know what they're good at and what they're supposed to do. And so it's early, obviously, right? We're a small sample size, but there's a good batch of kids coming off the bench that each play their own role.
And certainly guys coming off the bench having their moments, getting rewarded for those moments. You think of Eric Borg, for example, taking a missed free throw toward the end of the game against Northern Colorado, putting that in, forcing overtime, and ultimately a win against a Division I program in Northern Colorado on the Saturday of the Outrigger Rainbow Classic. But not just Borg. I look at guys like Stephen Hubble, who doesn't really back down from anybody at his 6'1" frame, and even an Anthony, Peyton Grant has seen some pretty good minutes as well when he's been in there.
Yeah. Well, and you look at Max Kunert, another freshman like Borg, who came off the bench, was smart enough to get fouled while trying to shoot a 3. He made 2 free throws and then banged it off the board off the side. I mean, it's not easy to do.
Right.
That set up Borg with the game winner or the game tire.
Yeah, and that was one of the most talked about things on that Saturday and toward the end of that Outrigger Rainbow Classic is what UH Hilo did, which was a lot of fun. We're seeing fans file in here at the Fukushima Civic Auditorium. I know it is wet outside. We're all drenched just walking in here at the Fukushima Civic Auditorium, but it is certainly warm inside. And for UH Hilo, they want to keep that warmth of how they've been playing and keep that here to try to get to 4-0 before going to Oahu first. They've got Lubbock Christian before Thanksgiving, and then they'll head to Alaska, where they've got Alaska Anchorage and Alaska Fairbanks. So they want to keep up the high intensity and keep hot, and getting to 4-0 would be huge for UH Hilo. We'll come back with the lineups and the tip in just a moment here at the Fukushima Civic Auditorium. It is Hawaii Hilo and Alaska Anchorage. You're listening to UH Hilo men's basketball on KPUA.
When it's getting close to game time, you don't need to waste time. Hit Monono Mini Mart for all of your game day needs. Chips and dips, suds and sodas, and of course the best sandwiches in East Hawaii, including Monono's famous pastrami sandwich. Call in your order for sandwiches or party platters and they'll be ready for a quick pickup. Avoid the crowds and long lines at the big stores. Easy in, easy out. Monono Mini Mart's got you covered on Monono Street in Hilo, just across from Long Stadium.
Where to go for the best local and American grinds? You go to Kay's Drive-In on Hualalai. That's where, satisfying the Big Island's taste buds since 1964. Local favorites like tomato beef, chicken heka, or pork and peas, and American classics like their handmade burgers and deli sandwiches. And don't forget to finish it off with one of Kay's famous twist cones. Call the menu hotline at 935-5573 or follow on Facebook for Kay's Drive-In's daily specials.
670 AM KPUA Hilo and 98.5 FM K253CR Hilo, your news, sports, and information source.
The anthems here at the Fukushima Civic Auditorium. Basketball shortly between the Seawolves of Alaska Anchorage and the Vulcans of the University of Hawaii at Hilo. Let's bring you the lineups as turned into the scores table. The Seawolves head coach is Rusty Osborne, longest tenured coach in the GNAC. He is an alum of the University of Texas. His lineup will look like this. A familiar person on this Alaska Anchorage squad is the former HPU Shark David Rowlands. He starts at one guard, a senior from Dayton, Ohio. He's joined by the team's leading scorer, Tobin Carlberg, a senior from Anchorage, Alaska. He's averaging 17 a game. Keegan Crosby also in the lineup, a junior from Seattle, Washington at 6'6", 215 pounds. Up front, Hunter Sweet from Beaverton, Oregon, a senior at 6'4", and Agi Pantovic, a 6'7" senior from Serbia, also in the lineup. Anchorage in their yellow uniforms, numbers in white and black trim along the sides of the jerseys. UH coach Kaniela Iona, 13-2. His record, 85-73 overall, of course, adding in his years at Menlo College. Darren Williams at one guard, the junior from Rancho Cucamonga, California, averaging just over 15 a game. You heard Russ talk about him a moment ago. Max Kudert from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the freshman, averaging 8 a night. Also in the lineup is Donald McHenry. We saw him off the bench initially in some of those exhibition games. In fact, had a really fun night against against the University of Hawaii coming off the bench. McHenry, forward from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at 6 feet 1 inches tall. Ethan Jetter, the freshman from Canberra, Australia, at 6 feet 6 inches tall. And Aniwa Tate Jones, who was named as one of the members of the Outrigger Rainbow Classic All-Tournament team, the freshman from Wellington, New Zealand, at 6 feet 6 inches tall. The Vulcans in their home whites, red numbers, black and red trim along the jerseys, with the islands of Hawaii along the upper part of the back of the uniforms. Not a bad crowd tonight here on a Tuesday evening. Only game of the week here at home before, again, UH transitions on the road to Oahu next week against Lubbock Christian, to Alaska for a couple of games, and then right back home, where conference play, Russ, it gets underway real quick, and it does in early December with Concordia coming here on December 3rd.
Yeah, it's you get in kind of murderer's row right away here in Hilo, and I hope fans will come out because there's two really good teams to watch. That'll be Concordia on the 3rd, and then Point Loma, the conference favorite and national runner-up just 2 years ago. They'll be here on Monday night the 6th.
Now 3 days later, it's going to be Jetter and Pantovic to tip it up. Our officials assigned to this contest, Tata Poe, Landon Kamek, and Tony Colazzo here in Hilo tonight. Tony Colazzo has the ball in his left hand, tosses it up, and the toss is slapped so far toward the far part of the UH Hilo bench. Tate Jones tracks it down. We're underway. Vulcans go from left to right on your device. Williams dribbling with it between the big rings. Chest pass left wing finds Cooter. Bounce pass just above the low block for Tate Jones. Squares up on his man Pantovic. Is cut off at the low block. Now tries to turn. Fades at the baseline. Tough 5-footer. That's good. And Tate Jones gets UH Hilo on the board. 2-0 Vulcans. 25 seconds in. From right to left, Rowlands has it for HPU. Chest pass top of the arc for Crosby. Looks left, takes a dribble to the near side wing. Now they lob it in near the baseline for Pantovic. Backing down Jetter. Kicks it back out near side for Sweet. Again, back in Pantovic. Again in the corner left. Sweet for 3. That's good. And this team, who shoots about 30% from outside the arc, struggled the last time by. Gets the lead here for the Seawolves. 3-2, 19:05 to play in half number 1. Angle right side, Tate Jones. He'll take a 3 as he was given space. Misses it off the right side of the iron. Rebound goes off the shoulder of Pantovic and taken by Rowlands. Rowlands hurries ahead, picked up by McHenry. Out up top for Pantovic and around the perimeter right. Now into the low block. Here's Sweet. Backing down Tate Jones. Sweet turning, fading along the right side of the paint, and he connects. 5 in a row for Alaska Anchorage, and the Seawolves lead by 3. 18:39 to go in the opening half. McHenry off a soft pick, hesitates, drives to the paint, floater from 13 feet, that misses. Rebound taken out of the air by Pantovic. Alaska Anchorage liking to kind of move the ball in, see if it transitions into an outside game. Sweet goes baseline, cut off, out to left corner. Rowlands 3, that's good. And Alaska Anchorage is at 2 in a row from outside the arc. It's a long 2. Foot was on the line, 7-2 your score. 18-10 to go in half number one. Bounce pass, high post left for Tate Jones. Back to the basket, hands off for Cooner at the elbow right. Takes the jumper, misses too strong. Long rebound out to Crosby. Hawaii Hilo's gone cold. Rollins the other way to the far sideline, right in front of the UH Hilo bench. Up top, Pantovic left wide open for three. Misses it off the left wing. Rebound tracked down by Jeter. 17:45 left in the half. UH Hilo quickly ahead, Cooner. And out high left for Williams. Steps back, takes an NBA range three and knocks it down. Williams with the defender backing off, knocks down the three, and the Vulcans are within two. 7-5, 17:30 to play in half number one. Baseline left, it's Pantovic backing down, now leaning in on Jeter. Leads, turns one way, then the other. Right hand hook, that drops. Pantovic with the size advantage at 6'7", slightly on Jeter, and it's 9-5. 17-12 to go in the opening half. McHenry crosses over, goes angle left, brings it up top to Tate Jones. Squares up for an 18-footer, misses short. Rebound corralled by Crosby. Up ahead comes Rollins to the near side. Rollins, angle, near side Crosby, and up top for Pantovic. Out to the right side, Carlberg, his first touch. Between the rings, Rollins, back out left for Crosby. Shot clock at 15, 16:48 left in the half. Turning baseline, Pantovic leans in on Jeter, up for a tough two, no good. He was hemmed off. Loose ball, knocked down far side. It's tracked down by Jeter. Good defense there, low block, keeping Pantovic from getting an easy shot. Tate Jones the other way, kicks out, passes deflected out. They were looking for McHenry and Russ. That long extended stretch of play for about 3 minutes and 27 seconds. There's our first stoppage.
Yeah, it's pretty fast and furious up and down the court so far. And it's been interesting just to watch these different matchups and how it's going to play out. Both teams man-to-man.
Williams dribbling between the circles, steps back, doesn't take a three, he'll drive instead, kicks to the high post, 15-footer from Jeter straight away is good, and the Vulcans are within two. 9-7, Alaska Anchorage ahead, 16-18 to go in half number one. Between the rings, Hunter Sweet around the perimeter left to Keegan Crosby. Crosby jabs, now finds Pantovic about 12 feet away, back to the rim, kicks it out for Crosby, who drives baseline, kicks back, finds Rollins at the left wing, back out at the angle, Crosby, and up top to Sweet. They move it around right. Carlberg for three off the front rim. Rebound tipped in the air and yanked away by Cooner. Outlet goes left for Williams. We are under 16 to go in the first half. 9-7, long three. Williams at the angle. That's an air ball long. Cooner tries to save it, but it goes off the back of the backboard and will go out of bounds. That leads us to a stoppage with 15:45 to go in the first half. Alaska Anchorage has a 9-7 lead on UH Hilo. You're listening to Hawaii Hilo Basketball on KPUA.
You heard right. Slices and Sticks is back and now available at Little Caesars for just $9. But have you heard this? You can get a free 2-liter Pepsi with any Little Caesars online purchase of $10 or more. That's right, I said free. Just download the app, add $10 or more of Little Caesars yumminess to your online cart, check out using promo code STARTSIPPIN6 and get a 2-liter Pepsi for free. That code again, STARTSIPPIN6, STARTSIPPIN and the number 6. Check out littlecaesars.com for details.
Pizza.
Quitting smoking is hard because you're used to it. You've gotten used to the caffeine, and sooner than you think you'll get used to what's next too. Living on an oxygen tank, relearning to walk after a stroke, until one day, it kills you. And then your ohana will have to get used to that too. Or you can get a free quit plan from Hawaii Tobacco Quit Line that will help you stay off cigarettes for good, because that is something worth getting used to. Enroll now at hawaiiquitline.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
KPUA. 15:45 to go in the first half. Alaska Anchorage with a 9-7 lead on Hawaii Hilo and Russ Blunk. The Seawolves got a couple of key threes early on, or one key three, one long two. They've tried to work it inside, but UH Hilo off of somewhat of a slow start offensively, starting to pick it up a tad.
Yeah, you would think Anchorage is going to go through, everything is going to go through Augie Pantovic and one of their leading scorers just a year ago, and he's tough inside, but so far the Vulcans doing a pretty decent job on him. They've got a couple of really good three-point shooters too, and Sweet's one of them, and he's got loose.
UH Hilo picking up softly three-quarter court as the Seawolves bring it across the timeline, attacking the goal to our left. Rollins has it right side of the midcourt circle, picked up in a man defense by Donald McHenry. Rollins keeps the dribble, lobs it to the free throw line for a fading two from Sweet. And that drops on a sweet-looking shot. That gets the Seawolves up by 4. It's 11-7, 15:22 left in the first half. Dribble handoff, McHenry, angle left for UH Hilo. Throws it up top for Jamie Strong, who's into the contest. Out right for Cougars. Now straight away, three. That is off the left side from Jeter. And Alaska Anchorage with the rebound, and bringing it ahead is Tobin Carlberg. For Sweet, near side wing Crosby. Floats it just above the baseline, Pantovic. Skip pass up top, leaning in, fading left side, Carlberg way off the mark right. And getting the board is McHenry. McHenry's got a 4-on-3 the other way, and driving to the rim off the pass, a two-hand jam for Jeter. No one caught him going on the fast break left of the lane, and UH Hilo's within two. It's 11-9, 14:40 left in half number one. Pantovic out to the near side, just above the wing, Carlberg. Up top to Crosby. They work it around the perimeter right, Sweet. Then for Rollins, looking inside, just above the low block, Pantovic squares up on Jeter. Now backing him down, trying to use his body and use too much of it. He's called for an offensive foul. They've made that, at least on Alaska Anchorage's end, Russ. They've been working diligently to get it into Pantovic, and that time Jeter did a nice job holding his ground.
He did, yeah, and he's outweighed there probably about 30 pounds or so, and a couple inches below him, but yeah, he did a very nice job on defense.
14:23 to go in the first half. Alaska Anchorage leads 11-9. Williams, dribble out to the high left side, terminates it, throws it between the rings for Strong, reverses course left, hands off to McHenry. He'll take the three at the angle. That hits every part of the rim and misses. Rebound for Pantovic in the outlet near side, David Rollins, the former HPU Shark. To the left wing, Crosby. Back out up top, Pantovic has it in the perimeter. Moves it around right side angle, Rollins, and just above the baseline right for Garrity. They look inside, finding Sweet. There's a traveling violation called on the far side official. He's the one that calls it, and it's an Alaska Anchorage turnover.
Alaska Anchorage has got some, they did well going to the transfer portal. The kid Sweet is from Concordia, Portland. His program folded, and then you've got Rollins from Hawaii Pacific. They're both really good weapons.
There are a number of transfers on that group from all across the country. Tate Jones driving, quick step to the rim. He'll scores the outright by Pantovic and lays it in. We're tied at 11. What a quick first step by Aniwa Tate Jones. 13:33 to go in the first half. Bounce pass angle right side, A.J. Garrity lobs it in the block for Crosby. Touch pass out up top, Sweet to the left wing, Rollins for three off the back rim. Seawolves have gone cold. Long rebound out Crosby. Now up top to Sweet. Left wing Rollins lobs it into the low post. And up for two and scoring is Pantovic right before the help defense could come there in the low block. 13-11 Seawolves. 13:07 left in the first half. Tate Jones hands it off to Williams, coming back to the basketball. Now works off of his screen. Back out to Tate Jones. Doesn't go with the dribble handoff. Drives instead. Challenged at the goal by Pantovic. And he goes to the floor hard and draws the foul.
And I think that's 2 fouls on Pantovic, so.
You're right. And that means he's going to have to come out of the game, as we already see someone there at the scores table ready to come in for him. But knows the rules. Got to wait until after the first free throw, does David Riley. So Aniwa Tate Jones, 800 free throw shooter here in the early part of the year. 5 of 7 from the free throw line on Sunday. He hits the first of 2 foul shots.
You know, it wasn't like that last year. That was the one area he struggled on the court, was at the free throw line. But this year, and he shot a lot, because you can see why. He gets himself to the hoop. But his percentage this year at 80 with quite a few shots taken, actually.
And a respectable number for this team in general, 76% from the charity stripes. Second free throw all nylon for Aniwa Tate Jones. We're tied at 13. 12:57 remaining first half. Softly put on by UH Hilo as Sweet brings it across the timeline. Near side wing, Keegan Crosby. Crosby up out top to Rollins. Moves around the perimeter right for Hunter Sweet. Dribbling toward the corner, brings it back out for Crosby. Again for Rollins near side. And to the left corner, Garrity. Back out high angle left, Crosby. 8 to shoot. Right side, Rollins. Shot timer winding down. Off the screen. Good help by Strong. Out right for 3. This is Sweet. That is off the front iron, no good. Rebound tracked down by Stephen Hubble into the game for UH Hilo for the first time after that last dead ball. Tate Jones dribbling near side, right-handed, gives it to Strong. Thought about 3, doesn't take it. Instead moves it to Hubble to the baseline. Tate Jones underhands it to Strong. Quick 3 away. It is short. Rebound taken by Sweet. 12:08 to go first half, even at 13. The other way, Rollins, top of the arc, Sweet. Quick chest pass right for Garrity. Again up top. They move it around to Crosby to Rollins, who goes to the rim. Right-hand lay and misses off the right side of the rim. That lane opened up for him, and he couldn't convert. Up ahead, Tate Jones looks behind him, finds Strong, takes one dribble, moves it left to Williams, standing about 30 feet from the rim. Williams, hard dribble right of the lane. It clears. He goes up for a tough two. No good. There was some contact. They call it here on the second one as Williams will shoot free throws. That's going to go, I believe, against Crosby. Actually, no, I take that back. That's going to go against Hunter Sweet. It's his first. The timeout here, 11:40 to go first half. 13 all between UH Hilo and Alaska Anchorage. This is University of Hawaii Hilo men's basketball on KPUA.
Hey, cousin, what does kuleana mean to you?
That's one good question, cousin. To me, kuleana means more than just responsibility. Kuleana is also a commitment that we all have to take care of the people, places, and things around us. Kuleana to me is a kako thing, and is our duty to the lahui.
That's right. So remember, it's all our kuleana to malama kekahi, or take care of one another.
Our island, our home, our kuleana.
HPM is having a pre-Black Friday sale. That's right, before Black Friday, okay? So that means on Black Friday, while everyone else is dealing with crowds, long lines, and the occasional and often dangerous tug-of-war over a sale item,
give me that!
You, wearing your comfy new work clothes and boots, will have already finished the project with your new tools and grabbed a beer from your new cooler and started kicking back on your newly built deck, while roasting up some Calbee and weenies on your new grill. The pre-Black Friday sale, on now at HPM Building Supply. Build better, rest later.
KPUA.
11:40 remaining in the first half. We're even at 13 between Hawaii Hilo and Alaska Anchorage. Along with Russ Blunk, I'm Josh Pacheco. Russ, in the first 8 minutes or so, what's been kind of the key thing you've been seeing?
Well, I can see Anchorage wanting to get the ball inside to Pantovic, and when they can, they've been pretty successful because he's a pretty good passer. He can kick it back outside. When he's not in there, it was different. They didn't really know what to do. They stayed out in the perimeter the whole 28 seconds or whatever, and before finally jacking up a shot. So good defense by the Vulcans.
That's a great assessment. Once Pantovic got that second foul, it's like the entire half-court offense changed as Williams knocks down the first free throw. Darren Williams coming in, shooting just under 78% from the free throw line. That foul on the other end before the timeout was on Hunter Sweet. That was his first. Second free throw for Williams, good. And UH Hilo's got the lead. It's 15-13, 11:40 remaining in the first half. And pressure put on by Hubble on the inbound as Gary brings it across midcourt. Stops his dribble, finds Rollins coming to the basketball. Rollins guarded by Cameron Ng on the floor for the first time for the Vulcans. Out to the right side corner. Bounce pass toward the baseline. Way out of the reach of Riley and taken away by Tate Jones, who was there on help defense. Stops his dribble at the angle, throws it between the circles for Williams. Trying to point players around here in the half-court offense. Tate Jones will set a screen. Williams uses it, drives in the paint, floats it left for Tate Jones at the low block. Double comes. Dribbles away from it out beyond the arc. Now 11 to shoot. He'll drive baseline again. Goes up right between two defenders and banks it home. 17-13. The Vulcans, it's early, but the 4-point advantage is its biggest so far. Chest pass left wing for Toby Karlberg, and we'll get a whistle away from the ball. This might have been on the screen attempt, and it will go against Hubble. That's his first, and I believe only the first team foul on UH Hilo so far.
It is. I'm not sure I've ever seen that almost 10 minutes into the game. Because the first couple of games here, we were in foul trouble in the bonus before we even got to the halfway point of the first half.
17-13 UH Hilo off of a screen near side. Rollins has it. One hands it up top for Hunter Sweet. They move it around the perimeter right to Karlberg. Now up top, Garrity leaning right of the lane. Goes up for a contested two. Hits the back of the rim once. Drops in. Gets the Seawolves within two. 17-15. UH Hilo leading with 10:27 left in the half. Ng off of a soft screen, and that three's not going to count. It didn't drop anyway, but it's going to be a moving screen against Tate Jones as he was moving, leaning in right near the free throw line. Didn't set his feet. His first. And we'll see for the first time Eric Borg assimilate himself into the contest as Tate Jones will get a breather, and no one caught the Star Trek reference. Not one single person. 10:20 to go in the half. 17-15. UH Hilo leads. Sweet around the wing left to Garrity. Back up top for Karlberg and around right for Rollins. Into the corner, now they get it in to the low block and Evan Hoosier. Back out near side, Karlberg. Crossover dribble, Rollins at the wing, has nowhere to go. Nice defense by Ng. Now up top to Sweet. Yeah, bumped on the right side, no whistle. Three ball misses. Rebound Williams, going to lob it ahead for Strong. Leads in on his man, goes up for a left-handed lay-in and knocks it down. That was contested. He may have gotten away with a foul on the three-point shot on the other end. They don't call it. He leaks out the other way, and Williams found him for the layup. 19-15 with 9:43 to go in half number one. UH Hilo leading. Off a screen, Garrity has it, stops his dribble, moves it right for Rollins, and just below the wing right for Sweet. Now to the low block. Hoosier leaning in, turns around. What a stop by Strong on the other end, and then we'll get a blocking foul here on UH Hilo as Garrity leaned in and Hubble tried to take a charge. But what a rejection by Strong from the backside on the shot attempt by Hoosier.
Hoosier was distracted because he had the 6'10" Eric Borg right on him, but he didn't hear Strong coming in from behind he got all of that ball.
Every single inch of it. The foul was on what they were hoping, well, UH Hilo was at least, hoping to take a charge. It wasn't called that way. It'll be Alaska Anchorage to inbound baseline to our left. The inbounds play goes quickly into Rollins, who fires a three and misses. Rebound tapped by Williams right into the hands of Peyton Grant, who checked in for UH Hilo moments ago. Cameron Ing has it. Works over a Borg screen for three. This is short. Grant goes up and gets the offensive rebound. Back to Ing, and again to Grant. One hands it out for Williams, way out right side, backpedaling near midcourt. We'll set up the offensive set with 11 on the timer. Off of a double screen. Near side Strong. Quick fire three. Got it. Jamie Strong with as quick of a release as you'll find gives the Vulcans a 7-point advantage. 22-15, 8:51 to go in half number one. Outright wing Carlberg. Chest pass, a skip to the left and Sweet. Defense collapses on it. Up top to Rollins. Now outright ball knocked down. Williams trying to save it. And we're going to get a foul. We will. We'll get a foul here as Williams was shoved to the ground trying to save a loose ball right in front of the UH Hilo bench. That's going to be a push against Garrity. That was off of a shot attempt. For the moment, it was a change in midair, and Williams did a nice job staying with his man. As I believe we might have gotten a technical here. Let's see. We're going to get an official's timeout. It's a 30-second timeout called by Alaska Anchorage to kind of settle things down. But it was a great job defensively by Williams to not bite on the shot fake as a help defender, stay with his man, and end up jostling that ball free.
Took a pretty hard spill over there in front of the bench, but the adrenaline of his teammates helping him out, he'll forget about that. By the way, Vulcan's on an 11-2 run right now. They had that lead at 2-0 early, and then it was Anchorage for the next about 8 minutes, right? And now in the middle of an 11-2 run.
And you're seeing what we talked about in the outset. Kaniela Iona has gone deeper into his bench, and in doing so, those key role players are doing exactly what he has expected them to do, is to give them energy and to give them lift and to give guys like Tate Jones and other very, very well-earned rest. We aim to walk it forward, left to right on your device. Picked up in a man by Rollins. Works off a screen for Borg. A second one. Steps back, keeps his dribble. Penetrates right of the lane. Kind of turns his body. Misses a 13-footer well short. And a rebound corralled by Carlberg. The Seawolves have gone as cold as the Alaskan night. Down by 7. 8:19 to go in the half. High post right side for Sweet. He'll penetrate. Drives. Goes up for two. Right of the lane. Misses. May have been contact on Jeter, and that's indeed who gets the foul. Ethan Jeter picks it up, and Sweet will go to the foul line.
It's interesting, Josh, to watch these two coaches. One, a grizzled veteran who's been extremely successful, and one, a young up-and-comer local guy. And Kaniela Iona is pacing and you walk over there, Rusty Osborne, he's just sitting back with his legs crossed, and he's standing up now, but yeah. He'll go back and sit down and relax.
First free throw misses off the back iron. Seawolves still trail by 7. Wojtek Rusek from the Czech Republic checking in for the first time for Alaska Anchorage. Free throw, the second one is good for Sweet as he goes around and in. 22-16, that stops at UH Hilo run with 8:11 to go in the first half, and UH Hilo turns it over off the inbound as McHenry couldn't handle the basketball. Three ball right for Garrity, no good. Ball tapped in the air. It is won by Jeter, and an offensive foul as Jeter crashes right into Caleb Larson, who was just standing there as Jeter came down with the basketball, and Jeter called for a quick second foul.
To me, it didn't look like he gave him a chance to come down, right? He was in the air, and the guy moved under him, but that's a quick bang-bang play. Pretty hard to make the call.
And I don't need to read lips to know that Kaniela Iona is saying exactly that to Landon Kamek, the official who made that call. That's a tough break after that ball was patted around a few times. You don't want to give the Seawolves really any room to make any kind of a charge here as we get under 8 here in the first half. Alaska Anchorage trails 22-16. Off a screen, Karlberg up top for Rusek. They look inside, ball knocked around. It will go out of bounds. It will stay with Alaska Anchorage as we step aside. 7:51 left in the first half, and UH Hilo holding on to a 22-16 lead over Alaska Anchorage. This is Hawaii Hilo basketball on KPUA.
The Kahilo Theater is excited to present the 19th annual Ukulele and Slaki Guitar Festival this Saturday at 4 p.m. featuring Hawaiian musicians Jeff Peterson, Sunny Lim, Nathan Avial, Brother Nolan, Brittany Paiva, John Kiave, Sean Parks, and Ho'opono Wong. A festival like no other, these musicians will take the stage to talk story, play music, and share their experiences as award-winning Hawaiian music artists. A limited number of in-person tickets will be available to the general public. Proof of vaccination or proof of a negative PCR test taken within 72 hours of entering the theater is required for in-person attendance. The show will also be available for purchase via live stream on Kahilo.tv. Kahilo.tv offers professional live streaming of shows from the theater, pay-per-view events, exclusive subscriber content, and free music and cultural videos. The 19th annual Ukulele and Slaki Guitar Festival this Saturday. Tickets available at the Kahilo Theater box office or online at kahilotheater.com. Live stream information and tickets available at kahilo.tv.
With 7:51 to go in the first half, the University of Hawaii Hilo men's basketball team holds a 22-16 lead on Alaska Anchorage. Alongside Russ Blunk, I'm Josh Pacheco. So far, we've seen the physicality of this game pick up just a little bit, even with Augie Pantovic, an important player for the Seawolves, out with foul trouble. It seems like that physicality has kind of hit a different notch right now.
Yeah, I think the first few games that I've seen the Vulcans play, they're way more physical than any recent Vulcan team. So.
As Hunter Sweet hits quick too. But to finish your thought on that, I mean, it's a good test to play a little physical at this point.
Sure, and if you look at these guys, you wouldn't necessarily think we're all physical. Donald McHenry, for instance, right there.
Right, McHenry gets to the free throw line, leans, it is his man, gets cleared away, and he knocks down the 14-footer right at the top part of the paint. 24-18, UH Hilo leading, 7:25 to go in the first half. Left side wing, A.J. Garrity. It's a soft, kind of unintentional screen to the baseline. Sweet, he drives, goes underneath the rim, turns back around, and scoops it right around Cooter and scores right at the cup. That's the Seawolves within 4, 24-20. And Alaska Anchorage showing a zone look here. Tate Jones to the right side wing. Cooter for three, knocks it down. Gets the lead back to 7 at 27-20. 6:55 remaining in half number one. Sweet nearly traveled as he stumbled with his pivot foot. Gives it up near side, Garrity. Drives, gets in the paint. May have taken an extra step. He lands hard on his back as he made contact with a UH Hilo defender. It is a foul. It's on Cooter. And we'll see free throws for the Seawolves coming up.
Still just 6 team fouls on the Vulcans, and Alaska Anchorage with 4.
That physicality, and I'm glad you brought it up, because once you get into conference play and you play the Point Lomas, heck, when you go up against the Chaminades later in the year, playing some of these tough opponents early on is going to make a world of difference as Garrity hits the first of 2 free throws. Kia'i Apele in for UH Hilo, the Waiakea High love. Darren Williams back in as well as Ing and Eric Board will sit down. One more here for Garrity. Transferred over from Santiago Canyon Junior College, a first-team All-Orange Empire Conference selection. We have a whistle before the second free throw. They'll wipe up some perspiration inside the paint. Kaniela Iona back in his second season and trying to bring the excitement back into this Hilo community, and certainly after a 10-2 mark last year, granted basically all against HPU and Chaminade, but always, those teams have always been very tough opponents for UH Hilo. Just Hawaii teams have always been tough against their fellow Hawaii teams. Second free throw misses, but the rebound tracked down by Carlberg. Big three from Garrett at the angle, near side, out right to Sweet, and will get a hold as the pass is being entered into the low block against Ruzek. That foul is going to go against Apele.
Becker, thought about that, Josh. It was 6 games against HPU and 6 games against Chaminade, but Chaminade has been the cream of the crop amongst the Hawaii schools most recently, so to win 4 out of those 6 games was really noticeable to people around here.
Be 1-1 here for Rusek. He misses the free throw, and the rebound you're at Cooner's heads as he and Tate Jones ran into one another. 6:33 to go in the half. UH Hilo leading 27-21. Angle right, McHenry gets a screen. Step back, launches a 3. That's off the front rim. Rebound taken by Sweet. Quickly gets the outlet and head to Rollins. Rollins knows what the Hawaii grind is like in the Pac-West. For Larson off the screen, good double by UH Hilo. And we get a traveling violation as that double team jostled his pivot foot loose. And it's a Seawolf turnover.
Yeah, both these teams pretty familiar with the grind of travel, right? Alaska is pretty remote up there, and the GNAC is far-flung as well. Not quite as much as the Pac-West, but it's spread out.
Williams, hard dribble to the high post, right, leans in, determined to get free, but can't, gets it out to Cooter. High arc with the 3-ball, knocked down at the right side angle. Cooter coming in, hitting just under 29% from distance, knocks down a big 3. It's 30-21. 5:52 to go in the half. Double is again there, this time on Carlberg. Up top for Rusek. Now to Rollins, who centers the floor of the dribble. Around the perimeter, right to Sweet into the baseline. Drive from Carlberg, goes around the rim, reverse, misses the lay-in, but draws contact and draws the second foul on Cooter. You see now that change. We're not seeing as much of the outside shot from Alaska Anchorage, but we are seeing them start to draw foul trouble now on UH Hilo, relentless to the rack.
Yeah, 18 fouls now on the Vulcans, and they're getting to the free throw line more and more.
Carver shrugging his shoulders, running to the 1-1. That's no good. I thought it was a shooting foul. They said it wasn't. Wow. That was definitely a shooting foul, and now the whistles blow, and they're going to get together, and they realize, yeah, we messed that one up. There's supposed to be one more free throw. So, scores table's buzzing over. I think they wanted to talk to someone, and referees say, no, we don't need to talk to you. The scores table keeps saying, no, please come over. We need to have a conversation about this. In which that still hasn't happened.
No, it still hasn't. My scoreboard operator, Wayne, is calling for them to come over, and they still, no, okay, we got some acknowledgement now.
I mean, you were in the singular bonus. I do think they have to add a foul into the foul column on the scoreboard. But either way, once they figure that out, then we'll have the second free throw. And part and parcel to that, too, Alaska Anchorage just missed the last few from the free throw line.
And I apologize to those that are trying to follow the live stats. We would like to be doing that as well, but they're down right now, and so we can't tell you exactly how many they've missed.
Second free throw, that's off the back rim. Rebound for Aniwa Tate Jones. At the end of the day, all the same. 30-21, UH Hilo ahead with 5:30 to go in half number 1. Apele dribbling high left, one hand to top of the arc for Peyton Grant. Dribble weave right for Williams, steps back with his dribble, nearly crossed the legs of Larson, but he loses the dribble, sliding right of the lane and turns it over. Pushing ahead is Caleb Larson. Chest pass up top to Sweet. They move around left to Rollins. Double team comes. He bounces his pass top for Ruchek. Now right wing Larson, 3 too strong. Rebound inside for Sweet. He's hemmed in underneath. There's contact. Put back misses. Tate Jones, the rebound, nearly delivers an elbow to the chin of his own player in Apele. Tate Jones drives by his man, gets to the lane, scores, and hits the deck as he does so. He had Sweet right on his hip, kept the dribble the entire way. Once he got space, he hit the turbo button and got right to the rack. Lead is 11, 4:41 to go first half. Chest pass right side. Carlberg drives, leads in, contact, blocking foul. Bucket is good. And a chance for a three-point play as Apele was inside the restricted zone.
You know what's impressive about that to me on Tate Jones's drive? He facilitated the guy in his hip. He kept running right in front of him. And then finally, like you said, he put on the jets right near the top of the key and went right by him. Left him in the dust.
32-23.
He has such a feel for the game, having watched him now for a little over a year, and he's a freshman. You think about that, but he played a lot of international ball in New Zealand and got a lot of experience that a lot of guys don't get as a young player. It shows.
Yeah. Toby Karlberg scored 19 against Chaminade the other night on 8 of 19 shooting. Tries to complete the three-point play, and he does there. Didn't mention it earlier, and I should have. Free throw shooting has been a problem for Alaska Anchorage. Their first 2 games, they have shot 47.4% from the foul line. 1-2-2, three-quarter court trap put out by Alaska Anchorage. McHenry lobs his pass far side for Jamie Strong. Backwards to Williams. He'll bounce it across midcourt near side of McHenry. Instead of a half-court offense. Or just drive to the rim. McHenry does, and he lays it right over softly over the rim and scores. 34-24 lead back to 10. 4:17 remaining in the half. UH Hilo has been somewhat in control of the last 4 or 5 minutes of game action. Near side wing Larson dribbles out toward the angle, brings it up top to Sweet. They move it around right, and now they lob it into low block. Sweet hesitates. His baseline 2 from about 6 feet. Softly falls. 34-26. 3:55 remaining in the first half. Williams to the wing, steps back, and it's going to be a moving screen again on Tate Jones. That's the second time he's been called for it, with Williams using his dribble off of him, and Tate Jones picks up his second foul. So timeout here, 3:52 remaining in the half, and the Vulcans hold a 34-26 lead on Alaska Anchorage. You are listening to UH Hilo men's basketball on KPUA.
When it's time to grind, it's Blaine's Drive-In.
And it's always time to grind at game time. Call Blaine's locations in Honoka'a, Orchidland, or Hilo. Place your party platter order and have it ready for the game. Choose from local favorites: terry beef, mahi-mahi, Portuguese sausage, chicken katsu, or hot dog. Available in small or large platters and ready the same day. For daily specials, be sure to follow Blaine's on Facebook and Instagram.
When it's time to grind, it's Blaine's Drive-In.
For professional tech solutions you can rely on, Pacific ProTech. Whether you have a mom and pop's business or are running a corporation, Pacific ProTech can provide the service you need. Whether it be networking, servicing, and maintenance, or simply upgrading and buying a new computer. No job is too big or too small. Pacific ProTech serves the entire Big Island and is locally owned and operated. Pacific ProTech. To inquire, call 935-8081 or visit our website, pacificprotech.com.
KPUA.
34-26, UH Hilo has an 8-point advantage on Alaska Anchorage here inside a warm and toasty Funchin Civic Auditorium, where it is wet and rainy outside. Russ, myself, several hundred UH Hilo fans have been able to make it out tonight on a wet evening and enjoy so far, Russ, what has been a very competitive game and at times a little physical, but a good test, especially for this UH Hilo team, with a couple of non-conference matchups left to go, and now full court, at least soft man defense put on by UH Hilo, as the Seawolves bring the ball ahead right to left as we see it. Crosby's got it the angle, gives it up to Rollins, who's double teamed, and Williams picks off the pass coming from the help side. That ball took too long to get there, and Williams raced over and took it away. Driving is McHenry, bounce pass to Strong near the baseline. He's fouled on his way up by Crosby. And free throws for Jamie Strong, who has not got to the free throw line yet this year, coming up.
Guy with an excellent shooting touch, and you mentioned it before, he really does have one of the quickest releases I've ever seen for a three-pointer. He smells the ball, it's already on its way.
Strong's first free throw, the southpaw knocks it down. 35-26. Kind of mentioned it before the timeout, but Russ, certainly UH Hilo, ever since the foul trouble on Pantovic and how Alaska Anchorage has kind of changed what's done offensively, the Vulcans have done a nice job holding on to control.
Yeah, and Pantovic still not back yet.
Second free throw misses. Rebound picked up by Keegan Crosby with 3:25 remaining in the half and a 9-point Vulcan advantage. Karlberg off the screen, double team comes, he floats into left side corner. Crosby almost traveled. Now a skip pass up top to Sweet to the right wing. Larson back into the corner. Sweet open for three off the side of the backboard. Long rebound. Larson jumps in the air to get it at his 5'10 frame. The shot clock, though, is at 18, and I think we might have to reset that because I don't think they reset it. Or I think they did, and they shouldn't have. Let's see. Yep, there you go. It's down to 7. They reset it when it shouldn't have because it didn't hit the rim.
Right.
That changes this possession. Now 5 on the timer. Right side Larson. Around Strong. Leaning at the baseline with 1 to shoot. He misses it well short, but Strong with contact. He'll pick up the foul.
He did a good job of drawing contact. Strong. Larson did, or acting like he drew contact. One or the other. He hit the deck hard.
As tough as you could play that, Strong did, up until that last point where he was just too tight in. I called for the personal foul. Alaska Anchorage is now in the double bonus as Larson, previously at Concordia Portland, knocks down the first free throw. It's 35-27. Second free throw away. That's good as well. 35-28. Seawolves trying to claw closer, but UH kept a little bit of distance with under 3 to play. Williams dribbles around his defender, gets across midcourt. Now dribbles right over Borg, top of the arc. Uses the screen, drives right of the paint, gets around a defender and lays it in. Right as Carlberg was trying to knock it away from behind. Williams goes right to the rim and gets the Vulcans back up by 9. 37-28, 2:35 remaining in the half. Near side Crosby, up top Larson. They move it around right into the corner. Rollins for 3 off the back rim. Alaska Anchorage has gone cold from distance, but the rebound put back. That no good by Sweet. And here comes Williams the other way. Finds McHenry. Steps back off the dribble for 3. It's good, and we got a foul away from the ball. That's going to go against Alaska Anchorage. So this should be a 3. It counts. And it'll be out of bounds here for UH Hilo, I believe, with the foul occurring away from the shot. As 2 of our officials, Tata Poe, Landon Kamek, get together and talk this one over. 3-pointer's good. No, the foul's going to go against UH Hilo, I beg your pardon. It's against Borg. It looked like for a moment that the contact, they didn't signal it the other way, but it goes against Borg, and that actually turns into 2 free throw opportunities here for Sweet because the Seawolves are in the double bonus.
I just missed the replay. I'm watching the video stream, which has a 30-second delay, and I looked down just a little bit too late, so I could have told you what the foul was, but I failed.
First free throw is good for Sweet, who averages 13 a game to go along with 7 rebounds. Second best rebounder on the team. And it's 40-29. UH Hilo on the floor. They've got Borg, McHenry, Strong, Williams, and Peyton Grant. Second free throw drops, lead down to 10. 40-30, 2:17 remaining in the half. Let's pass out left side, finds Williams. Alaska Anchorage showing a man defense. Borg will launch straight away, clanks it off the left side. Long rebound tracked down by Alaska Anchorage and Carlberg. To the right side corner, Larson drives baseline, draws help, touch pass out to the near side, Rollins. Vulcan defense stays home, nicely done. Here's a drive by Carlberg in the paint, contorts his body, is able to square up and push that one in off the back square on the backboard. Makes it 40-32. That was not an easy lay-in, turning his body to his left to square away. 1:37 to play. Donald McHenry, high dribble left to the top of the arc, hesitates, nearly lost it off the body of an Anchorage player. Now driving Williams, lobs it into the paint. Borg tries to touch it home, and he does off the backboard. Soft alley-oop without the dunk. Borg finishes. It's 42-32. 78 ticks left in the first half. Near side Crosby into the wing. Larson double team. Circles for Sweet. Out right side, Carlberg draws the double. Sweet left open, right corner 3, knocks it down. That's the first 3 in a long time for Alaska Anchorage. That brings it down to 7, under a minute to go, first half. Williams across midcourt. Walking forward with the dribble. Borg sets the screen. Williams doesn't use it. Now uses it this time. Drives inside the arc, brings it back out Borg. Dribble handoff up top, McHenry. Fakes the 3, got his man in the air. Drives left of the paint. Floating against contact. The ball is swatted away. Loose ball, far sideline. It's taken away by Carlberg, and a lot of contact between Carlberg and Grant. Near side Crosby. Skip pass angle right, Rollins. Shot fake, penetrates, loses his dribble, brings it out Carlberg. One-hands it right to Sweet. 25 seconds left in the half. 7-second difference game in shot. Lob pass up top, Crosby, near side wing, Larson. 11 to shoot. Behind the back pass into the corner. Left open for three as Crosby misses it off the back rim. Strong lost the ball as he had the rebound. Put back, a giving miss by Sweet. And then just an unnecessary foul with 10.5 to go in the first half. The foul going to go against Carlberg on a ball that had to drop with nobody right on Sweet there.
Anchorage still not in the bonus yet, though, so just 6 team fouls on them, so no real harm done.
Cooners will come in here for the final, potentially, possession. Shot clock is off. 10.5 seconds to go. Aniela Iona just on the floor, talking to his point guard, Darren Williams. They'll go the length of the floor. Cooner to trigger it in. Williams, Board, Strong, and McHenry on the floor. Now the ball touched. Across midcourt with 8 is Williams. With 7 off a board screen. Good help defense. They lob it left corner, Strong. Quick fire 3 is partially blocked, and that's going to be the end of the half. They did a great job flying in on that last possession and swatting that out. Strong, uncharacteristically, didn't get that off as quickly as he normally does as the time was winding down, and the help defense came in real quick.
We're hoping, before we take our first commercial break, Josh, to get Jamison Montgomery over here, the assistant coach, and also get some stats so we can get folks updated on what happened in that first half.
But I think from your perspective, what's your biggest takeaway from the first half?
We had a couple of big runs, right? Anchorage with a run early, and they led by as many as 6 points in the initial part of the game. And then the Vulcans went on an 11-2 run, and they haven't trailed since that point. They've led by as many as 12, but Anchorage came on strong there in the last couple of minutes of play, cut the margin to 7 here at the break.
You could say maybe somewhat of a concern, seeing how Alaska Anchorage has kind of chipped away just a little bit again, gotten within 7. They've made this one kind of interesting, and it seems as if they've turned up the physicality just a little bit to try to force their way back in, to use their size just a little bit at all possible, and seeing UH Hilo in foul trouble a little bit, with the foul trouble to Tate Jones kind of coming into play, as well as Jamison Montgomery is going to join us here at our broadcast position here at halftime. And Coach, thank you for stopping by. Real quickly, I think first off, the physicality of this game seems to have picked up. How is UH Hilo kind of responding to the way Alaska Anchorage has kind of stepped up kind of the physicalness of this game?
Yes, well, Alaska Anchorage has some bruisers down there. They have some big physical guys down there. We just have to do a better job of just being physical with those guys and matching that same energy that those guys are bringing.
Jamison, you have an advantage over us. We haven't seen stats yet. What do you see on the stat sheet that jumps out at you here in the first half?
So for us, actually doing a pretty good job moving the ball. I mean, 8 assists to 4 turnovers is a pretty good job for us. They're beating us on the rebounds. I mean, they have 8 offensive rebounds, if that's something that stands out. Just giving guys second chance opportunities, that's something that's hurting us right now.
Coach, thank you so much for stopping by, and best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamison.
All right, Jamison Montgomery joining us, UH Hilo assistant coach. 42-35, it is the Vulcans ahead of Alaska Anchorage here at the break. We'll go through some of these numbers hot off the presses and get you ready for the second half coming up in just a moment. You're listening to UH Hilo men's basketball on KPUA.
The Kahilo Theater is excited to present the 19th annual Ukulele and Slaki Guitar Festival this Saturday at 4 p.m. featuring Hawaiian musicians Jeff Peterson, Sunny Lim, Nathan Avial, Brother Nolan, Brittany Paiva, John Kiave, Sean Parks, and Ho'opono Wong. A festival like no other, these musicians will take the stage to talk story, play music, and share their experiences as award-winning Hawaiian music artists. A limited number of in-person tickets will be available to the general public. Proof of vaccination or proof of a negative PCR test taken within 72 hours of entering the theater is required for in-person attendance. The show will also be available for purchase via live stream on Kahilo.tv. Kahilo.tv offers professional live streaming of shows from the theater, pay-per-view events, exclusive subscriber content, and free music and cultural videos. The 19th annual Ukulele and Slaki Guitar Festival this Saturday. Tickets available at the Kahilo Theater box office or online at kahilotheater.com. Live stream information and tickets available at kahilo.tv.
Hey, Kazi, what does Kuleana mean to you?
That's one good question, cousin. To me, Kuleana means more than just responsibility. Kuleana is also a commitment that we all have to take care of the people, places, and things around us. Kuleana to me is a kako thing, and is our duty to the lahui.
That's right. So remember, it's all our Kuleana to malama kikahi, or take care of one another.
Our island, our home, our Kuleana.
The American Red Cross of Hawaii responds to disasters throughout our islands, provides emergency communication to the military, teaches preparedness classes, and more. And to do all this, they need your support. Become a Red Cross volunteer or make a donation today. Your contribution brings relief to those impacted by disasters in their darkest hours. Help save lives and give hope to those in need. Visit redcross.org/Hawaii and make a difference in our community.
KPUA. At halftime here at the Afuchinen Civic Auditorium, UH Hilo holds a 42-35 lead on Alaska Anchorage. Back alongside Russ Plunk, I'm Josh Pacheco. Happy to be with you as the Vulcans try to go to 4-0 before heading to Oahu and heading to Alaska. We'll tell you about that a little bit later on, but let's go through the numbers. And UH Hilo in the first half shooting 16 of 30, just over 53%, 5 of 13 from outside the arc, just under 39%, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line. And I've really liked, Russ, what Donald McHenry has done in his 14 minutes of work. We saw him come off the bench in those exhibition games on Oahu, but his energy and his confidence off the dribble and with a three-point shot has led him to a tie for the team high with 10 points, shooting 4 of 7 from the floor. I like what he has done in kind of enhancing that Hawaii Hilo offense.
Yeah, he's so – I think he's a difficult matchup. He's long, and he's 6'1" and super, super thin for now. He'll put on some weight, obviously. But if you look at him when he comes back out, his arms are long. So he plays way bigger than 6'1". He's a tough guard, I think, for other teams to match up with.
McHenry's got 10 points. Aniwa Tate Jones has 10 points as well. It's the foul trouble, though, that is the story with him. He played 13 minutes, but to UH Hilo's credit, and we talked about it a little bit, to their credit, key reserves helped keep that lead intact, even with Tate Jones out.
Yeah, you got 10 different guys that have logged significant minutes, 11 guys total, so they all know what they've got to do when they come in, and they've done it here so far in the first half. Those are really good shooting numbers for me. I think a coach will take it, right? 54%, as you said, 5 of 13 from three-point range, and 5 of 6 at the free throw line. And conversely, when you get to it, Alaska Anchorage numbers not so good.
Russ and I haven't seen each other in a couple of years, and he and I do the exact same thing. We circle fouls. And that's exactly what we did. The same place in the box score, which is going to be the concern going into the second half. You've got 5 UH Hilo players with 2 fouls: Apele, Hubble, Jeter, Kunert, and Tate Jones. 3 of them are starters. You need Jeter to give you some physicality up front. He played less than 6 minutes in the first half. You'd like to get a few more minutes from Hubble. You need Tate Jones on the floor. That could be concerning if that doesn't get rectified early in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, 5 guys with 2 fouls each, and conversely, the Seawolves not in any kind of foul trouble at all.
On the other end, I think we both were kind of surprised when we saw 19 points next to Hunter Sweet's name in the first half. 19 points and 7 of 13 shooting. We knew he had been active. Who knew 19 points active in the first half, 19 of their 35.
As a stunner to me, I mean, he was red hot in the early going, then cooled off or was on the bench. I'm not even sure what. No, he wasn't on the bench. He played all 20 minutes and then got hot again at the end of the half. So he's really the only guy with a significantly consistent hot hand right now for the Seawolves. But, yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't think either one of us has done a game in a long time that we didn't have stats in front of us. So this was kind of fun to open this up and go, oh, 19 points.
Hey,
Who
numbers.
knew? Who knew?
But, you know, foul trouble is also the other part of this equation as well, because when Augie Pantovic came out of the game with his second foul, they were constantly feeding it into the post, occasionally playing to the outside. Everything changed, and it took Alaska Anchorage a little bit of time for them to adjust to that. Sweet certainly played a large part in that, but nobody else really kind of carried anything offensively. And You would expect that to change at least in the first few minutes of the second half when Pantovic is back on the floor. He only played just under 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of surprised not to see him come back. I mean, 2 fouls is a lot. You don't want to get your third in the first half, but I thought he'd give him some minutes because he was definitely noticeable when he's in there. He's someone that you're going to need to match up against, and he's big. He's not just 6'7". I don't know what they list him at weight-wise, but he's a load inside and moves very well. He's a tough player.
All 225 of him as the Seawolves.
I think
the Seawolves return to the floor. A few more notes as we get to the second half when we come back. 42-35, UH Hilo leading Alaska Anchorage. You are listening to UH Hilo men's basketball on KPUA.
Quitting smoking is hard because you're used to it. You've gotten used to the caffeine, and sooner than you think you'll get used to what's next too. Living on an oxygen tank, relearning to walk after a stroke, until one day, it kills you. And then you Ohana will have to get used to that too. Or you can get a free quit plan from Hawaii Tobacco Quit Line that will help you stay off cigarettes for good, because that is something worth getting used to. Enroll now at hawaiiquitline.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Parents are responsible for protecting their children from danger. Today, there's an invisible danger. COVID-19 is in our communities. More children are sickened every day. The good news is we have a vaccine. We know it's safe and effective, and the FDA has authorized it for children ages 5 and older. We know you love your children. Your child's life is precious. Don't wait. Vaccinate. A message from the State Department of Health.
The County of Hawaii presents an Epic System Informational Webinar this Friday, November 19th from 2 to 3 p.m. Department of Public Works Director Ikaika Rodenhurst and Acting Deputy Building Chief Neil Tanaka will discuss Epic System updates, permit review process, and demonstrate live tutorials to navigate the Epic System. You can find more information and register for the webinar at dpw.hawaiicounty.gov. Click on Electronic Processing and Information Center System.
So the dream was to build your very own law practice. Be your own boss, call all the shots. But have things like billing, HR, timekeeping, and all the other management stuff turned your dream into a nightmare? Take charge of your practice with Lexicon. We're the intersection of practice management software and legal support services for your firm. You'll get more billable and livable hours back. Lexicon marks the spot for all your practice management needs. Visit lexiconservices.com/intersection to get the whole story or schedule a demo.
KPUA. And we welcome you back here at the Fukushima Civic Auditorium. 42-35 is the lead for UH Hilo over Alaska Anchorage. A couple of other notes here. The Seawolves shooting 42% from the floor, 13-31, 2 for 12 from outside the arc, just under 17%, 7 of 13 from the free throw line. Unfortunately for the Seawolves, continuing a trend that is just under 54%. Russ, what does UH Hilo need to do in the second half in order to improve to 4-0?
Well, I think keep playing defense the way that they have. They're really active. You've seen them trap up top and make things difficult. They're able to cut off the pass inside, and you're going to get some baskets when they drive in. And Anchorage has done a great job of taking the ball to the hoop. But still, active hands, active bodies, and this is a really athletic UH Hilo team. And you talk about the offense. They can score a lot of points, but I almost think you see that more when they're on the defensive side.
42-35 is your score here at the half. The second half when we return here at the Fukushima Civic Auditorium. You're listening to UH Hilo basketball on KPUA.
It is that time of year to reflect on life's bounties, to gather and give thanks for family, friends, good health, and a safe home. KTA Superstores has been with you through it all, providing the freshest produce, breads, meats, and dairy, and everything you need for the best Thanksgiving meal ever. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for holiday specials, the perfect recipes, and deals on ingredients. KTA Superstores, where you are someone special every day since 1916.
You heard right. Slices and Sticks is back and now available at Little Caesars for just $9. But have you heard this? You can get a free 2-liter Pepsi with any Little Caesars online purchase of $10 or more. That's right, I said free. Just download the app, add $10 or more of Little Caesars yumminess to your online cart, check out using promo code STARTSIPPIN6 and get a 2-liter Pepsi for free. That code again, STARTSIPPIN6, STARTSIPPIN and the number 6. Check out littlecaesars.com for details.
Pizza.
HPM is having a pre-Black Friday sale. That's right, before Black Friday, okay? So that means on Black Friday, while everyone else is dealing with crowds, long lines, and the occasional and often dangerous tug-of-war over a sale item,
give me that!
You, wearing your comfy new work clothes and boots, will have already finished the project with your new tools and grabbed a beer from your new cooler and started kicking back on your newly built deck while roasting up some Calbee and weenies on your new grill. The pre-Black Friday sale, on now at HPM Building Supply. Build better. Rest later.
For professional tech solutions you can rely on, Pacific ProTech. Whether you have a mom and pop's business or are running a corporation, Pacific ProTech can provide the service you need. Whether it be networking, servicing, and maintenance, or simply upgrading and buying a new computer. No job is too big or too small. Pacific ProTech serves the entire Big Island and is locally owned and operated. Pacific ProTech. To inquire, call 935-8081 or visit our website, pacificprotech.com.
KPUA 42-35. It is UH Hilo leading Alaska Anchorage here at the half. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. You're listening to University of Hawaii Hilo men's basketball on KPUA.
You're listening to 670 AM KPUA Hilo and 98.5 FM K253CR Hilo. Your home for Vulcan basketball.
Alongside Russ Blunk, I'm Josh Pacheco. Second half about to start momentarily. The Seawolves will have it going from left to right on your device, and back in there, as we expected, Augie Pantovic playing just under 7 minutes in this game. He averages just under 6 points. He averages just under 12 rebounds. And if Seawolves want to get back into the game, they would love for him to be a major part of that. Pantovic will be on the floor with Tobin Karlberg, with Hunter Sweet, with Keegan Crosby, and David Rollins. And I'm surprised Rollins has been actually a little quieter than I thought he would be.
Right, yeah. I mean, obviously we know all about him, and they've tried to put the clamps on him. But he also was on the bench for quite a bit there in the first half.
UH Hilo will tell you their lineup in a second as the Seawolves have it off the inbound here to start half number 2. Dribble weave right side for Karlberg between the rings. Now out left for Crosby into the corner. Sweet. Now Pantovic with his first touch of the possession. Looking inside, finding Crosby, but it's knocked away and taken by UH Hilo. And a foul here called against Rollins, trying to prevent a leak out to the rim right in front of the UH Hilo bench.
Darren Williams has been averaging almost 4 steals a game, and you can see why there. He anticipates so well, so quick, and just got in the passing lane and took that pass right away.
Williams on the floor with Max Kunert, Aniwa Tate Jones, Donald McHenry, and Ethan Jetters. The inbound is in to Williams. Dribbling left, guarded by Rollins, goes off a screen right, tries to pass it in. It's knocked free by Pantovic and taken away by Alaska Anchorage. Basically the same thing we saw on the other end. Out to the left side is Crosby, just above the wing. Slings it back up top for Karlberg, and to the near side, Rollins. Guarded by Darren Williams, back up top to Crosby, guarded by Kunert. Out to the left wing, Karlberg. Now they get into low block, Pantovic. One-on-one with Jetter, backs him down, turns baseline up with the left-handed shot off the glass. That's good. And this is the closest the Seawolves have been in a while. It's a 5-point game, 42-37, 18:59 to go second half. Williams between the rings, McHenry. Dribbles right over top of Jetter. Keeps his dribble. Defender slips down for 3. Around and out. That would have brought people up on their feet. Instead, that's a tough miss for Williams. The Seawolves can get it back within a possession. Karlberg, chest pass right wing, Rollins. Bounce pass to low block, Sweet, who squares up on Tate Jones. Leans in. Now turns his back to him, loses the dribble. Out to Rollins and up top to Crosby. To the corner left, Karlberg. Karlberg with 10 to shoot. Back out Rollins with 9. And again into Karlberg. Now low block. Pantovic turns. Finds Rollins leaning in. His 2 is no good. Offensive board Crosby and a fresh 20 for Alaska Anchorage. Out left side Rollins. Bounce pass again into Pantovic. Backs down Jetter. Leaning in. Goes baseline again. Hesitates up for 2. No. Gets his own rebound and there's contact. If that's on Tate Jones, that's number 3 on him. And it is. Tate Jones picks up his 3rd foul with a shot to the side of the head. And how does Kaniela Iona respond to that foul?
Just 2 minutes into the second half. It's a tough call there with 3 fouls already. You do not want to be missing your best offensive player.
And he's going to trust in said offensive player and keep him in the game. which almost feels like you're playing with fire given how much they may exploit that with what Alaska Anchorage does offensively. The inbound is lobbed in up top to Rollins. They quickly get it in. Pantovic backing down Jeter. Turns, left-handed hook. That's around it in. Jetter's playing with 2 fouls. He has to be careful. And it's a 3-point game off the Pantovic make. 42-39, 17:51 to go. Williams dribbling inside the arc, now steps back, launches a 3. That's off the back rim. Rebound, 2 Seawolves collide with one another, and it's out of bounds. Carlberg tried to save it. His foot was on the baseline, and it will stay now with UH Hilo 20 on the shot timer. That's a break.
Well, we can already see, Josh, what a difference Pantovic makes when he's in the ballgame. He's really got a nice touch for a big man.
Inbound for Tate Jones, squares up at the baseline, now back to the bucket. Backing in his man, turning, right-handed hook. It's an offensive foul, and that's the right call. He reached around his arm and hooked the defender, and that's 4 fouls now on Aniwa Tate Jones.
Well, that'll certainly bring him out. Jamie Strong checks in right away, and we might not see Aniwa for a while.
Yeah. You think of the 4 fouls that he's picked up, 2 of them on moving screens, and that one, the last one, there on that hooking call, taking his man back to the bucket. 42-39, 17:29 to play. Right side, Sweet inside the arc to the right wing, and Pantovic lobs into the low block. Fading is Carlberg, misses the 2 right of the lane, right off the quick fire. That misses. Rebound, Kunert. Outlet ahead right for McHenry. Goes baseline, drives on his man and lays it in. Showed going one way, went toward the baseline and laid it softly home. Lead back to 5, 44-39, 3 minutes elapsed in the second half. Left wing to Crosby, just above the low block now Pantovic, far side of the court. Back out for Crosby and again Pantovic. Goes baseline on Jeter, here comes the help, Kunert rips it away. It's going to be a held ball, possession arrow. He's going to give it to UH Hilo.
Terrific defense by Matt Kunert, sneaking in there and just taking a risk, really, with all the fouls that have been called, but tied up the big man, and it's possession arrow Vulcans.
And Kunert's one of the ones in foul trouble himself with 2. 44-39, 16:41 to go. Driving right of the lane, Williams behind his head, looking for Jeter, missed the 2, going up close. Crowd behind the basket wanted a foul, no call. Up ahead right is Carlberg. Out up top, looking for Sweet, finds him, moves around left for Crosby, into the corner, Rollins, and then Jeter with contact to the back of Pantovic as he got it 12 feet away. Jeter is going to get his 3rd foul. The alarm bells are starting to sound with the foul trouble UH Hilo is facing as Larson enters the game here for Alaska Anchorage. Jeter on the floor with 3. Tate Jones is out with 4. Inbound in far corner for Sweet. Inside the arc, throws it out for Larson. Larson dribbles to the center of the floor, reverses course, again to Sweet, into the corner left in Carlberg. Dribbles out to the wing, bounce pass above the low block, Pantovic, 7 to shoot. Backing down Jeter again, leaning, still leaning, goes up wildly, misses the 2. Great defense by Jeter, and we'll get a foul. Jeter extending his arms, going up against Sweet, who got a shot to the jaw, and the officials are going to get together and figure out how to call this one. Alaska Anchorage looked like it had the rebound on the loose ball. I don't think we have replay here that the officials can turn to, but they're going to call. I think this is going to be on Jeter. Yep. I saw single 11s. Jeter just got called for a loose ball foul, extending his arm, and that's foul number 4 on him. Alaska Anchorage had the rebound. The ball was stripped out of the hands, and he extended a high elbow out. And I believe they have called, I don't know, did they call that a technical or flagrant? Because we've got free throws here for Sweet.
Surely could have been flagrant watching it on the replay. He definitely extended his right arm.
Yeah. It was getting pretty chippy in there, and let's see, the second free throw coming. That is no good. So Jeter comes out. Borg comes in. And it will be baseline out of bounds for Alaska Anchorage with 16:06 to go. 4-point lead for UH Hilo, 44-40. Larson looking to trigger it in. Still holding it. Now we'll throw it across midcourt where he finds Carlberg. Shot clock is at 17 as Carlberg walks across midcourt. Goes over a screen, keeps the dribble, finds Sweet up top. He drives right of the lane, floats it up in the paint, no good. And we'll get a foul here on Alaska Anchorage. That's on Pantovic going over the back of Borg. Tried to knock it away from behind. Pantovic is called for his third foul, and we've got a timeout here on the floor. 15:52 to go. This one's getting a little physical. 44-40, UH Hilo holding on to a lead over Alaska Anchorage. You're listening to UH Hilo basketball on KPUA.
You heard right. Slices and Sticks is back and now available at Little Caesars for just $9. But have you heard this? You can get a free 2-liter Pepsi with any Little Caesars online purchase of $10 or more. That's right, I said free. Just download the app, add $10 or more of Little Caesars yumminess to your online cart, check out using promo code StartSippin6 and get a 2-liter Pepsi for free. That code again, StartSippin6, StartSippin, and the number 6. Check out littlecaesars.com for details.
Pizza. Quitting smoking is hard because you're used to it. You've gotten used to the caffeine, and sooner than you think you'll get used to what's next too. Living on an oxygen tank, relearning to walk after a stroke, until one day, it kills you. And then you Ohana will have to get used to that too. Or you can get a free quit plan from Hawaii Tobacco Quit Line that will help you stay off cigarettes for good, because that is something worth getting used to. Enroll now at hawaiiquitline.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
KPUA. 15:52 remaining here at the Apuchinen Civic Auditorium. It is 44-40. The University of Hawaii Hilo holding on to the lead over Alaska Anchorage, but Russ, foul trouble now is uniquely an issue. And let me correct something here. Aniwa Tate Jones, I thought, had 4 fouls. They are listing him here with 3 instead of 4. And that's
really good news.
Yes, it is.
Well, because what I was going to say for the Vulcans anyway, the foul troubles all come with their inside players. And once you get those guys out of the game, we're pretty small. They'll play a small lineup and be effective, but losing your big men hurts.
Alaska Anchorage with a full court trap. UH Hilo breaks it. McHenry gets in the paint. Scoop lay, and that's good from the left side. Donald McHenry trying to change the momentum in UH Hilo's favor. 46-40, 15:30 to play. Out left, Carlberg just above the wing. Dribbles toward the center of the floor. Moves it right to Larson into the wing for Crosby. Back top of the arc, Carlberg jabs. Leans in for 3. Misses. Rebound tapped into the hands of Borg for UH Hilo. In transition, here comes Williams. Williams uses the Borg pick, dribbles into a 3. Got it! Darren Williams for 3 on the left side angle in the lead. Balloons back to 9. 5 minutes gone by here in the second half. 49-40. UH Hilo's lead picking back up. Pantovic playing with those 3 fouls. Backs it on Borg. Almost stumbled. Kicks it out. The 3 away. It is good for Hunter Sweet, who now has 23. And it's a 6-point game. 49-43. Both teams trading trays. 14:38 to go. McHenry off the Borg screen, left of the lane, leans in, slips, almost lost the basketball, recovers, and quickly puts up a 2, the mid-post left, and is able to drop it home to get UH Hilo back up by 8. 51-43, 14:23 remaining. Out left side, here's Crosby, lobs it low post for Pantovic. Working against Borg, backs him down, leans in, right-handed hook. Too easy, point blank. UH Hilo quickly ahead though, 51-45. McHenry hesitates, leans, zigzags his way in, hesitates, goes up for 2, missed it, as Pantovic did a good job contesting the shot. Carlberg the other way, picked up by Williams to Pantovic, high up top to the near side of Larson. Back up top, Pantovic moves around right to left, finding Crosby. And now Carlberg backing down Williams, leaning, twisting, one-handed up top. Pantovic left open for 3, too strong. A long rebound though goes out to Crosby. Quickly to the right side corner, Sweet out for Larson, at top of the arc. Crosby moves around left, Carlberg, and now again Pantovic. Familiar spot, far side of the floor. Backs in on Borg, 7 to shoot. Skip pass right, Larson. Long rebound out to Strong. Quickly ahead, McHenry ahead of everybody, lays it home. I think Larson tried to foul him to keep him from getting an easy lay-in. Didn't get the call. McHenry finishes anyway. Lead at 8, 53-45, 13:08 to go. And the dribble by Carlberg goes off the foot of Williams here in the near side wing, out of bounds. It will stay with Alaska Anchorage, 22 on the shot timer, 13:07 Russ to play.
McHenry, I think he just whiffed when he's going to foul him. He wanted to foul him, but just couldn't, and that's part of the deceptiveness of Donald McHenry. He just missed.
Inbound coming from A.J. Garrity.
I'm sorry, 8 points for McHenry here in the second half.
No, McHenry's played very, very well. I'm glad you mentioned that. As he draws the defensive Simon on Larson. Right side corner for Rollins into the low block. Saved in bounds by Pantovic as that nearly went out. Out left side, Garrity to Pantovic again. Against Borg, turns. I thought he got loose on his pivot foot, no call. Pantovic fading to it at the baseline, no good. Loose ball is picked up by McHenry. The officials didn't see him shuffle his feet as he turned toward the baseline for his jump shot. McHenry uses a Borg screen almost to sandwich Larson, but Borg is called for the offensive foul.
He might have been moving a little bit, but I think it's really noticeable when you're 6'10", and you're 5'8" guys running into you. So
Larson was the bug on the Eric Borg windshield. I mean, he basically just hit it and was stuck, had nowhere to go, and now we've got a flopping warning called against Pantovic, who's not thrilled whatsoever. So it's a warning. You're given that. Next time someone is called for flopping, it becomes a technical foul and free throws.
I think it was one of the points of emphasis this year, Josh, with the NCAA officials and taking a page out of the NBA, trying to cut that stuff down.
So technically, I guess it's called delay of game to announce the warning. McHenry bites defensively too hard.
Pretty.
Larson drives by and floats in a layup along the right side of the paint. 53-47, 12-19 to play here at the Afuchinen Civic Auditorium. Williams right side will get one screen, gets a second. Defender stays with them as Williams keeps his dribble between the big rings. Hard dribble right, steps back, three ball away. That's no good off the front rim. Borg offensive rebound, drops it back home. The Norwegian Borg able to put it in on a big offensive rebound, and it's 55-47, under 12 to go. Up top, Pantovic moves it around quickly. Left finds Garrity to the near side. Sweet. Now right wing Larson. Guarded by Strong. Guarded by Strong. Up top, Pantovic straight away three. That's good. Right around Borg. Borg gave him just a little too much space. And Pantovic makes his first three of the year. 55-50 with 11:27 to go. The Vulcans ahead. McHenry trying to drive on Garrity. Draws a little bit of a bump. And a Garrity foul, which is his second. Timeout here with 11:25 to go, and the Vulcans are nursing a 55-50 lead. You're listening to UH Hilo Men's Basketball on KPUA.
When it's getting close to game time, you don't need to waste time. Hit Monono Mini Mart for all your game day needs. Chips and dips, suds and sodas, and of course the best sandwiches in East Hawaii, including Monono's famous pastrami sandwich. Call in your order for sandwiches or party platters and they'll be ready for a quick pickup. Avoid the crowds and long lines at the big stores. Easy in, easy out. Monono Mini Mart's got you covered on Monono Street in Hilo, just across from Wong Stadium.
Kay's Drive-In on Hualalai has been satisfying Big Island taste buds since 1964. Enjoy local favorites like tomato beef, chicken heka, and pork and peas. Order your party platters for game day. Choose from chicken katsu, shrimp tempura, Portuguese sausage, fried wonton, terry beef, and more. Available in small and large platters. And no stop at Kay's Drive-In is complete without one of Kay's famous twist cones. Call the menu hotline at 935-5573 or follow on Facebook for daily specials.
KPUA. 55-50, UH Hilo leading Alaska Anchorage with 11:25 to go in the second half. While we have a quick moment, Russ, we should congratulate the University of Hawaii Hilo women's soccer team making it off to the NCAA regionals. That is such a huge, huge moment for head coach Gene Okamura and that program, and they'll get underway in just a couple of days, so congratulations to them.
And I'm so happy for Coach Gene, who's a born and raised Hilo native. He was on the very first Vulcan soccer team in 2006. He's been a coach here ever since, and And today also he was named the Pac-West Coach of the Year. So, yeah, they play at Thursday morning, 11 o'clock Hawaii time against Sonoma State. First round of the NCAA playoffs, first ever trip to the NCAA.
And a number of awards handed out to UH Hilo players by the Pac-West earlier today. Right side corner, Stephen Hubble out right for McHenry. Floater from 15 feet. Knocks that down. That's just a confident runner. McHenry's just hitting practically everything. As they'll stop the clock here with 11:07 to go in the second half. Wipe up some perspiration on the court to our left as we see Cameron Ing and Peyton Grant check in alongside Hubble and McHenry and Strong. So 4 of the 5 on the floor, all bench players here with the exception of McHenry.
McHenry, by the way, Josh, 9 of 13 now from the field.
Under 11 to go. Hoosier moves it out left for Garrity, works off the screen. Up top for Sweet, near side 3, away and good for Caleb Larson. His first 3 of the night, he's got 7 points, and the lead throttled down to 4, 57-53. Quick 3 from Hubble, right corner off the back rim. Rebound McHenry, puts it back up and in off the glass. No one boxed him out, got the rebound, put it up right against the Seawolf player, pushes the lead back to 6. Hubble overplays defensively out to the left wing. Garrity bounce pass toward the mid-block. It is knocked out by Grant as they were looking for Hunter Sweet. It will stay with Alaska Anchorage, as it will be Crosby coming back in. Evan Hoosier gets a breather. McHenry has been, I think, going back to him off that rebound and made basket, he has been really one of the unsung players right now for UH Hilo.
10 points now in the second half for him, and he's carrying the offense, right? They're giving him openings, and he's taking advantage of them. Again, he doesn't know he's a freshman, but this is a kid that can score. He averaged 38 points a game in high school, and scored 58 for a season high, so he is not afraid to shoot the basketball.
Double-digit score now in each of his first 4 regular season collegiate games, now adding tonight's number. He does not look like a freshman on the floor, that's for sure.
We're mop-up work right now, Josh. We'll explain why to our Anchorage fans that are watching and listening when we get an opportunity.
Between the rings, here's Crosby for the Seawolves. Dribble handoff right for Rollins. Back between the rings, Sweet. They move it around left. Driving near the baseline is Garrity. He's cut off. He slips on the floor. Oh, man, he's hurt. He's down on the ground in the paint. Up ahead comes Hubble to Ing. His lay-in scoops off, no good. And the rebound goes to Larson. And the good news is Garrity is up, but he's grabbing the back of his right leg. And I think that is exactly going to lead to what you were just going to talk about with some of the perspiration on the floor. It is wet outside, and unfortunately, that moisture taking a toll on this floor.
Yeah, it gets super muggy here, and it's been warm all week. And on a day like today where it rained really, really hard, this floor tends to get a little bit wet, a little bit slippery and a little bit wet. And don't know if that's what happened there. He certainly slid in the lane and hit the deck, and looks like a hamstring type thing. Obviously, we don't speculate, but that's what he was grabbing.
Well, Tata Poe, veteran official, he's talking right now with both head coaches at midcourt. And I think in this instance, they're spending some time wiping up many different areas of both sides of the floor. When you have a near injury or injury like that, all of a sudden it changes the conversation from players slipping on both ends. It changes that conversation from that all of a sudden, kind of letting him play and monitoring and continue to wipe down the floor to bringing the coaches in and having a conversation about, okay, now we got to talk about safety a little bit, which is, I think, what we're starting to see. And both teams have headed to their respective benches while work is being done on both ends of the floor to take care of some of this.
Well, it's 8:30 at night, here, but it's 75 degrees and 94% humidity right now, so that's pretty thick.
Let's kind of refresh where we are at the moment. 9:58 to go, 59-53. UH Hilo leading Alaska Anchorage. And Russ, I think the key thing here in kind of resetting the stage, UH Hilo got on a run kind of midway in the first half. Foul troubles kind of played a part of that on both ends. But certainly foul trouble is now a part of this conversation, or has been a part of this conversation. UH Hilo has been kind of able to hold on. And I'll freeze on that for a moment just because all three officials are now coming together here at midcourt and talking with one another. Both teams are now in a huddle at their respective benches. So clearly this is something kind of worth paying attention to see how this is treated. I think now we're going to get ready to go. They'll finish up wiping the floor on the right side, but I think as long as both coaches are kind of aware of the situation and how it's being handled, and the floor crew here and the UH Hilo staff, they do a really, really good job kind of being up and ready for these situations, and they've dealt with it for years. You alluded to it, not just here, but in the past over at the UH Hilo gymnasium where it's been dealt with, and we've seen games affected by that before.
Sure, we've had games even canceled or postponed because of it. But this floor was redone, I think, 2 years ago now, so it's a little bit better. All right, thanks, Todd.
Tadapo just in front of us. I'm not sure if our crowd might have caught that, but basically they've got the towels on the mops, and they're going to try to see how this goes and make a determination if they need to anything different if the game progresses. And hopefully we can push through this final 9:58.
Yeah.
Because it's a good game so far. You'd hate to see that kind of get in the way.
For sure.
Alaska Anchorage has it. High left side with Sweet. Out to the wing left, and Tobin Carlberg. One hands it top of the arc for Keegan Crosby. Handoff for Rollins. Out toward the left side, and Sweet. Right back to Caleb Larson. And we'll get a foul away from the ball. Strong had his arms on Keegan Crosby as he was flashing down the left of the lane. And Jamie Strong picks up his second foul.
I see a lot of Todd, obviously, here in this gym. He's one of our frequent officials. I'll just say he's sweating way more than he did the other night when we were here against Simpson. We all are. It is really muggy in here.
Todd, one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Someone who has worked in the government sector and the private sector. Certainly a well-respected official. Left side wing, Carlberg gets in the lane, drives, keeps his dribble, kicks out to the right, and Crosby into the corner. Carlberg, 3 to shoot. Fading away, the 2 is good for Sweet. Just above the low block to the near side of the floor, and the Seawolves are within 4. 59-55, 9:15 remaining. Near side is McHenry. Over the screen from Grant. Crossover dribble. McHenry left the lane with contact. Just throws it up way too hard off the glass. And the rebound taken by Sweet. Up ahead left is Rollins. Top of the arc, Sweet moves to the right wing. Larson. Quick drive, baseline. Misses the lay-in too strong as he slips on the deck. Got too much of a head of steam as the defender gave him too much space. The other way, McHenry beating everybody down the floor, gave a nice head fake, got the defender up, and scores at the low post. 61-55, 8:41 remaining. UH Hilo holding a lead that they've held for quite some time. Carlberg between the circles, chest pass out left for Larson. Will use a screen from Crosby out to the near side, Sweet. Right wing, Carlberg. Turns his back to the bucket momentarily. Now using the dribble and toward the baseline. Backing down is Sweet. Turning, fading in the paint. Sweet does it again. Hunter Sweet has singularly been the best offensive attack the Seawolves have had. They're within 4. 61-57, 8:13 remaining. Top of the arc, Hubble moves it left for Peyton, or check that, Cameron Ing. And a foul away from the ball. It's going to be a moving screen called on Hubble. That's the third called on UH Hilo this evening. That's now 3 on Hubble. The foul trouble continues to grow here with 8:07 remaining.
Sweet's going to inbound Josh. He now has 25 points. We were surprised to see the number 19 next to his name at the end of the first half, but my counterpart at the University of Alaska's SID, Nate Sagan, says that his career high is 29 at Concordia Portland, same league. So he can score. He's got a pretty shot.
And by the way, look at his number now. No surprise whatsoever. 7:51 to go. Leaning in is Carlberg. Challenge shot is blocked by Grant. Putback, though, is up and in. And this is the closest it has been since about midway in the first half. 61-59. UH Hilo nursing a 2-point lead. 7:35 remaining. Williams, free throw line extended right. Drives baseline. And a bump called here on Carlberg. He'll pick up his second foul. And that will lead us to a timeout. 7:32 remaining. UH Hilo 61, Alaska Anchorage 59. You're listening to UH Hilo basketball on KPUA.
Hey, Kazi, What does Kuleana mean to you?
That's one good question, cousin. To me, Kuleana means more than just responsibility. Kuleana is also a commitment that we all have to take care of the people, places, and things around us. Kuleana to me is a kako thing, and is our duty to the lahui.
That's right. So remember, it's all our Kuleana to malama kikahi, or take care of one another.
Our island, our home, our Kuleana.
HPM is having a pre-Black Friday sale. That's right, before Black Friday, okay? So that means on Black Friday, while everyone else is dealing with crowds,
Watch out, bro.
long lines, and the occasional and often dangerous tug-of-war over a sale item,
Give me that!
you, wearing your comfy new work clothes and boots, will have already finished the project with your new tools and grabbed a beer from your new cooler and started kicking back on your newly built deck while roasting up some calbee and weenies on your new grill. The pre-Black Friday sale, on now at HPM Building Supply. Build better, rest later.
KPUA. 7:32 remaining and a 61-59 UH Hilo lead over Alaska Anchorage. Foul situation becoming even more of a problem for UH Hilo. 4 for Ethan Jetter, 3 on Aniwa Tate Jones, 3 on Stephen Hubble. Vulcans are trying to hold through as this lead is starting to tighten a little bit. Now at 2, and big moment here, Russ. Jetter's back in the game with those 4 fouls. That's going to be huge.
Interesting, though, but Tate Jones is not yet.
Yeah, he has been sitting for quite some time. Skip pass right wing for 3. Coonert off the left side wing. No, we'll get a loose ball foul. That, I believe, will be on Alaska Anchorage as bodies hit the deck. They will give that to Keegan Crosby. His second. 15 foul. By the way, Alaska Anchorage is in the bonus, and you can hear the squeaking of the soles of the shoes on the floor with how much moisture this floor has been taking, which in a lot of these situations, this stoppage will go a little bit longer just because they're going to spend a little extra time on the floor to make sure that they take care of it.
For sure, you want to err on the side of caution in this situation. All of us enjoy being here. We don't mind waiting.
Yeah. There's nowhere else to go, right?
Right. You remember, you grew up here.
I do. One of 3 options for dinner afterward.
Well, quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard, Josh. Just one game tonight by a Pac-West team anyway, and it's a non-conference game. Of course, Biola defeated Pomona Pitzer, a Division III school, 76-70, but Biola expected to be in the upper echelon of the Pac-West this year. I don't know if you've taken a look at any of that.
Both teams are going back to their benches now here with 7:22 to go after the loose ball foul was called, and once again they are working on this floor. We've got squeegees, we've got towels on feet, and as we talked about, safety being of the utmost importance, they want to make sure that they take very good care of this floor. And both head coaches, Caniela Iona for UH Hilo and Rusty Osborne for Alaska Anchorage, are back again at center court talking with referee Tata Poe.
Well, even Josh saw official Landon Kamek down on the floor, rubbing the floor with his hands.
Well, he's the newbie of the group, so he has to.
Yeah, right.
the other 2 don't. Landon, sorry, you got to. Tony Colazzo's just going to stand there and observe his work. You continue to watch. You got to wonder kind of a little bit, how this, it affects game flow, obviously, especially with momentum, but you kind of put this in the mind of the players just a little bit. You think about them just because, it affects their rhythm, and you obviously kind of wonder on their part, how does this affect the way you play, knowing that this has to be in the back of your mind?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they're of course the key ingredient here that you want to be on the watch for. It's a long season. It's a non-conference game. Sure, it's an important game, but again, safety is the top priority here.
Tata Poe will now walk over to the youngest official of the group, Landon Kamek, and Tony Colazzo will join. And we'll kind of see and figure out we're going to keep playing. So they're going to keep going with 7:22 remaining.
Don't mic me up.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what Landon Kamek said in just a moment as here's Williams driving, leaning into the paint, floats it up, and mishandled by Jeter, but it doesn't matter. It still falls. Kind of slipped through both of his hands, but cleanly enough, went right through to the rim. 63-59, 7:04 remaining. Left side is Larson. Between the rings, Carlberg out to the near side and Rollins. Rollins back near the top for Crosby. One-hand pass left, looks inside. It's Larson again. Now Pantovic backing out his man, leaning in on board, kicks out up top. Fake three from Crosby. Out left side, now back in Pantovic. Running right-handed hook on board, no good. Rebound tapped in the air. Held ball between Jeter and Pantovic. Possession arrow is going to give it to Alaska Anchorage. Now, let me just tell you what Landon Kamek said a moment ago, and Borg might have taken a shot to the face. But let me tell you what Landon Kamek said. He told us first the obvious, it's slippery. But he said, if we have to stop the game one more time, it may very well likely lead to a no contest. So I'm not sure if any of that came across the microphone because he did say not to get mic'd up, but that is of concern. Now, we have a stoppage here, and it's not because of the floor, it's because Eric Borg took a shot to the nose.
Yeah, he's going to head off the court with trainer Trek Rundle and see if he can get that taken up. Obviously, he's bleeding. He has to come off the court anyway. But yeah, it was interesting that he didn't want to be mic'd up. He was the rookie. They sent him over here, but he didn't want to make his debut on the mic yet.
Yeah,
Landon.
Hey, I understand, and most of the time they don't want to, so you totally understand. But I love that. I thought Todd was going to be the one to come over, and Todd started about five paces over, and then turned right back around and said, "Actually, no, Landon, it's going to be you."
Yeah. You were right. They're making the rookie earn his stripes.
Yes, he is. And he's done a fine job tonight, as has this crew. It is not an easy situation, but as the official Landon Kamek also said, player safety is of the utmost importance. And that's first and foremost, so they're paying attention to that very closely. And while we've had this stoppage, it has also given that extra time for the floor crew, the event staff, to go out with the mops, with the towels, feet, using towels to wipe the floor. So it's given that time to really get some work done. It's been an interesting, really change in pace. I mean, we watched the first half for us that featured physicality. It featured Hilo's offensive speed and aggressiveness offensively, and instead now this has just turned into a grinding halt almost.
Right. You know what though, as no one wants to see the stoppage of play, but I bet both coaches at some point will think, you know what, that's good. Just another thing my team needs to learn to adjust to, because there's going to be adjustments all year, all different kinds, and here's another one right now that they're going to have to adjust to.
So inbound, baseline to our right, far side of the floor off of the held possession. Inbound is thrown into Caleb Larson near the midcourt circle. 6:37 to go. UH Hilo leads 63-59. Out high left is Crosby. Looks at Larson, who comes to the basketball and grabs it. Shot clock down to 8. Larson driving, leaning, kicks up top. Rollins for 3. Got it. Lead down to 1. Rollins has been silent all night. That's just his second field goal. 63-62. UH Hilo, 6:14 remaining. Williams to the near side, Huddle taps to Williams off the screen, wing 3, that's short. Rebound grabbed by Rollins. Chance for the lead for Alaska Anchorage, but a bump ball here on Williams, bumping the side of Rollins as he hits the floor. That stops the clock with 6:04 remaining, and it is bonus the rest of the way for Alaska Anchorage. 63-62. Rollins, before that make, was 1 of 6 from the field. And just confidently knocked that one down. For Williams, that's foul number 1. See a number of subs. McHenry is back in. Niwa Tate Jones has entered in for the first time, probably in about 10 minutes of game action, just about.
Yeah.
Strong is in as well. Coonert's on the floor. 1-1 here for Rollins. 2 of 3 from the free throw line entering tonight's game. Front end is good. And we're tied at 63. Just the third tie. We've had 2 lead changes. Second one away for Rollins. It is up and around and out. We're still tied. Rebound Strong. Outlet to the right and Donald McHenry. McHenry dribbling free throw line extended right. What a one-handed pass underneath. He finds Cooner for the 2. Good, and the foul. Max Cooner with the big bucket on a beautiful find by McHenry. McHenry's done it all. 24 points, 3 rebounds. He adds his first assist, and Cooner will try to extend the lead back to 3. He just slung that almost from behind his shoulder. Found Cooner underneath the rim. Free throw is away. It is good. 66-63. UH Hilo leads with 5:55 remaining.
One Milwaukee native to another. They know each other well. Beautiful pass.
Bounce pass out to the left wing. This is Tobin Karlberg for Alaska Anchorage. The low block Pantovic backing down Strong, and we get a 3-second violation. Nope, I think they're going to give that an offensive foul. Yeah, it's going to be an offensive foul on Pantovic. That's his 4th. And that is one that Rusty Osborne cannot believe. And in all due respect, I kind of agree with Rusty Osborne on that one. I don't know what Pantovic could have done. Or, I mean, against Strong, who all he could do was just keep backpedaling because he had no position. Williams, near side angle, gets the Tate Jones screen, leans in right of the lane, skips to the near angle. McHenry for 3. That's around and out. Rebound grab by Pantovic. 66-63, 5:21 remaining. Rollins, hard dribble to the high post left, into the corner. Crosby back up top. They find Pantovic. Defender overplays on a pass. It's loose. It goes out of bounds. It was last touch by UH Hilo. That was hit out by Cooner. We'll stay with Alaska Anchorage. 19 on the shot clock. As Pantovic is going to come out. Larson is in the game. Here's a big moment as Alaska Anchorage kind of goes small here with Pantovic off the floor.
Going Sweet back in the game too.
And Sweet's had a great night. 27-4 as they wipe up the floor. Sideline to our right where the ball was knocked out of bounds. It'll be Crosby to trigger it in. Gets it in quickly to Rollins. Try to drive on Cooner, who holds his ground. Now comes back toward the near side up top for Crosby out to the far side. 3 for Karlberg, no good. Rebound, Tate Jones. His 3rd. Bounce pass up ahead. What a fight for Strong, and he'll finish. Just found that through a very little seam. Got that through the right side of the lane. Strong finishes. Hawaii Hilo back up by 5. 68-63, 4:43 remaining. As good of an assist as you'll find all night. Left wing Rollins. Good help by Strong defensively. Back to the left corner. Shot fake, drive, lay in. Too hard off the glass from Sweet. Rebound UH Hilo. Williams ahead for McHenry. Leaning in on his defender. Crosby comes back out. Now drives again baseline. Skips right corner. Cooner 3. Got it! And a timeout here with 4:16 to go. The lead, which at one point had evaporated, is now back up to 8. 71-63. UH Hilo back ahead. 4:16 remaining. Well, keep it right here, as technically this isn't the under 4. This is the first timeout of the first full timeout of the second half. We'll keep it here as the lead is at 8, but wow, the assists here from UH Hilo, a couple of beautiful finds, and then Cooner from distance, and the momentum and the energy in this crowd has built back up.
Yeah, what a pass by Tate Jones. He was just looked like he's just bringing the ball up the court. It's about a quarter of the way above the top of the key, right? Just in a one smooth motion off the dribble, fires a bounce pass through the crowd and to a streaking Jamie Strong, and he laid it up and in. So yeah, nice little run here by the Vulcans. We're tied at 63 apiece, and now they're on an 8-0 run.
In what feels like just no time. as well. Amazing how around in such a quick period of time. Quickly going through the numbers here, UH Hilo is shooting 54% here in the second half, 13 of 24, 53.7% for the game. That is a very good number. 7 of 21 from outside the arc, including Cooner's second just moments ago. UH Hilo 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Alaska Anchorage shooting 44% in the second half, 42.9 for the game, 6 of 20 from outside the arc, 9 of 17 from the free throw line. And right now it's a duel.
Yeah.
Donald McHenry, 24 points on 11 of 17 shooting, and Hunter Sweet, 27 points on 10 of 18 shooting. 71-63, 4:11 remaining. Hand off left side for Carlberg. He's guarded by Strong. They're working around the perimeter to the near side. Rollins back up top to Crosby, and they move it around left to Caleb Larson. Back straight on, Sweet. Gives it to the right, and Carlberg guarded by McHenry. Back up top for Crosby. Shot clock clocking down to 6. Driving left, spinning is Rollins. Out up top, Sweet for 3. That's too Strong. Speaking of, Strong the rebound. 3:43 remaining, 71-63 UH Hilo. And maybe an opportunity for the Vulcans to slow the pace down just a tad. Williams, bounce pass, elbow right. Tate Jones squares up, hands off back to Cooner. Drives in the paint, left of the lane, underhand lay in too Strong. It was challenged. No whistles from the officials as they let him play. Rollins racing the other way. Tried to pass it out toward the left corner, but it was taken away by Cooner. And then we'll get a foul here, a blocking call going against Carlberg. Free throws for UH Hilo when we come back with 3:16 to play. UH Hilo leads 71-63 over Alaska Anchorage. You're listening to UH Hilo basketball on KPUA.
The Kahilo Theater is excited to present the 19th annual Ukulele and Slacky Guitar Festival this Saturday at 4 p.m. featuring Hawaiian musicians Jeff Peterson, Sonny Lim, Nathan Avial, Brother Nolan, Brittany Paiva, John Kiave, Sean Parks, and Ho'opono Wong. A festival like no other, these musicians will take the stage to talk story, play music, and share their experiences as award-winning Hawaiian music artists. A limited number of in-person tickets will be available to the general public. Proof of vaccination or proof of a negative PCR test taken within 72 hours of entering the theater is required for in-person attendance. The show will also be available for purchase via live stream on Kahilo.tv. Kahilo.tv offers professional live streaming of shows from the theater, pay-per-view events, exclusive subscriber content, and free music and cultural videos. The 19th annual Ukulele and Slacky Guitar Festival this Saturday. Tickets available at the Kahilo Theater box office or online at kahilotheater.com. Live stream information and tickets available at kahilo.tv.
KPUA. 3 minutes, 16 seconds to go on what has been a wild second half. It has at least felt like from this position. 71-63 UH Hilo leading Alaska Anchorage. And Russ Blunk, we talked a moment ago about that 8-0 run, that mini run that UH Hilo went on to extend its lead back out. Now the question is defensively, it seems like the foul trouble has become a little bit less of an issue. So now defensively, can UH Hilo stand tough here in the final few moments?
Well, and conversely for the Seawolves, they can't afford to give up very many possessions. They're going to have to, there's a lot of time left, but you don't want to go down and not score. And Cooner at the free throw line right now has a three-point play and a three-pointer in the last 45 seconds or so, and now he's at the free throw line again.
He will be at the free throw line, but first there is a discussion with head coach Kaniela Iona for UH Hilo, and I'm not entirely sure why. There's a point to the bench I saw for a moment, and Coach Iona does not seem pleased with whatever this is. But whatever it is, we're done with, and Cooner will shoot what is a very important 1-and-1. 3 of 4 from the free throw line for the season. Front end away, it is good. 72-63. That puts him now in double digits, the fourth Vulcan to reach double-digit scoring. Cooner's second. Off the back rim, no. Rebound taken by Augie Pantovic. 72-63, 3:11 left to play. Out left, Karlberg, one hands it up top to Pantovic, moves it around the wing, right, Larson looking inside. Larson lobs the pass in. It's Sweet. Low block against Tate Jones with his 3 fouls. Backs him down, turns, leans, fades in the paint, misses it short. Tate Jones comes up with a rebound, number 4.
Really nice defense that time by Tate Jones.
And I should say, they did correct the box score from earlier. Tate Jones indeed does have 4 fouls. They had it earlier at 3. McHenry in the paint tries to drive right around a crowd. He will draw a foul on Larson.
Well, that makes so much sense. He was out for so long, no coach in his right mind would leave him out that long unless he had 4 fouls, which apparently he did.
Larson with his first foul, and 1-and-1 here for Donald McHenry, who with everything he's done, this is his first free throw attempt. Front end of the one in the bonus is good. McHenry now with 25 points, an 80% free throw shooter entering the night, and this is the last time Hawaii Hilo will be in the 1-and-1. Next time by and every time thereafter will be the double bonus. Second one, all nylon. Lead is 11, 74-63, 2:43 to go. Quickly across midcourt is Alaska Anchorage. Right side, Karlberg. Up top for Rollins. Swinging around left to Larson into the corner for Sweet. Looking in, finding Pantovic, backing down Jeter. Goes up with a right-hand shot, no good. Too strong off the glass, and Tate Jones with the rebound. 74-63 UH Hilo, final 2:21 here at the Civic. Williams, right at the head of the midcourt circle, retreats back near the midcourt line, and now they'll space it out. Kind of go a 4 corners look. Tate Jones playing just inside the 3-point line straight away. Shot timer down to 9, 2:07 remaining. Williams, chest pass left, McHenry. Dishes underneath for Tate Jones. He's blocked, but a foul is called. Is there look to be contact? Let's see who they give it to. That is going to go against Hunter Sweet. Sweet had contact along the side. Pantovic had contact on the wrist, but they give it to Sweet. It is his second foul. Aniwa Tate Jones has 10 points. First of 2 free throws, misses short. But his impact, maybe his most important impact, really felt in the last few possessions with his defensive effort 2 possessions ago and the big rebound, Russ.
Yeah, a guy that averages 21 points a game, 8 rebounds. He's well below those numbers tonight, but his defense has been big here down the stretch.
Second free throw is in, 75-63. 2 minutes left to go. Larson across midcourt, picked up by Donald McHenry. Stops his dribble between the circles, pass knocked down off McHenry's leg, but it goes right to Sweet, high post right. Looks left off a screen, Karlberg for 3, left angle, that's good. 75-66. And Alaska Anchorage will pick up 3-quarter court. McHenry passes across midcourt, finds Jeter. One hands it left wing for Kunert. Back out for McHenry. They'll run clock as they once again go 4 corners here with 1:30 remaining. McHenry will move to the far side. Gets inside the arc into the corner. Jeter for 3. That's an air ball. Made too much time on the shot clock left when he took it. Karlberg the other way right into the corner. Larson, quick 3. He hits the deck and he's fouled. He'll try for a 4-point play with 1:19 to go, and if that's on Tate Jones, he's done. And judging by his body language and judging by what the official just signaled, indeed, Aniwa Tate Jones is fouled out. And boy, Russ, how does that change things now? It's a 2-possession game with 1:19 to go. It was 11 just seconds ago. It's now at 6, and it could be 5.
Right. Really good job of acting by Larson. There was a tiny bit of contact there, but that's what you're paid to do, right? Late in the game, if you were paid. He put the ball up and was already falling backwards, and there was just a little bit of a bump from Aniwa, and he's talking to Todd Oppo about that right now. But it's not going to matter.
Nope. Not much can be done about it now, so his night is done. Strong will re-enter the game. But the other part of why this is so critical, too, whether the free throw goes in or not, that probably changes the defensive strategy, too. You could probably still pick up full court, but less of an urgency to have to foul. And for UH Hilo, you can stall a lot of clock, but it puts pressure on that offensive possession to have to come up with points.
And UH Hilo in this position, being ahead with good free throw shooters, especially Darren Williams, they've been very productive in that.
Free throw, no good. A rebound tipped. It's right into McHenry's hands. That's a key miss, as Alaska Anchorage has not been a very good free throw shooting team. Trap is there right side. Ball's knocked free. Taken by Larson. 3-on-2 the other way. Left side corner. 3 is away. It is good. Sweet knocks it down. The lead is cut to 3. 1 minute to go and a timeout taken by Alaska Anchorage. Off of a turnover, the trap was set, the ball was deflected in the air, taken away by Alaska Anchorage, and Larson off of the drive and kick was left open for three. It is a one-possession game, 61 seconds left to go.
And one thing that's happened tonight is every time UH Hilo starts to try and pull away, Anchorage answers, and obviously a mark of a good team, a very experienced team with a very experienced head coach and Rusty Osborne.
This is a gritty group. Alaska Anchorage has scored more points than they have in a game all year. They were averaging about 54.5 coming into tonight. The three ball had been icy for them after the first one that was made in the game. They had gone silent up until I think it was late first half when they got one to fall. Now it's starting to drop at the worst possible time for UH.
Yeah, they had 2 3-pointers in the first half, 2 of 12, and now, again, we don't have official stats updated in front of us, but I think they have 6 3-pointers in the second half.
Yep.
A much higher percentage, obviously.
They were 4 of 8, I think now 6 of 10 here in the second half, a 60% clip. That puts them at 8 for 22 for the game. They average shooting 30% coming in. 1:03 to play. Here's the trap. Full court trap. UH Hilo beats it with McHenry near side. Across the floor right for Williams. Back to the near side, McHenry under a minute to go. And now Alaska Anchorage will sag back. 2 players at the top of what looks like a zone. Now they go into a man. 12 seconds to shoot. 43 to play. Williams between the big rings. Gets a screen from Jeter. Keeps his dribble, drives right, tries to dish underneath. Ball is loose, it is out of bounds. It goes to UH Hilo. It's off the foot of an Alaska Anchorage player. The shot clock is at 1. But let's see if they reset it to 2. They will. 2 seconds on the shot clock, 33.9 to go. That was almost near calamity into a transition basket. 30-second timeout here from UH Hilo, 33.9 left.
Yeah, the ball rattled around like a pinball. We didn't know where it was going. You almost caught it. Came over all the way over here, but I still wasn't even sure who it went off of.
If you're Caniella Iona, what are you telling this team at the moment? What do you say?
Well, they're going to design a play, obviously, with 2 seconds to go. I'm interested to see if Board comes in, if they try and lob into him, but also a quick touch, and somebody's got to put it up quickly. But you got a lot of good shooters on the floor if they come out with the same lineup. You got Strong, you got McHenry. I would expect to see Cameron Ng come in out of this timeout too. But you got to be ready to transition on defense. You need your good defensive lineup out there.
Note to our studio, we'll call for an ID in just a second, but first, 33.9 to go here in the second half, 75-72. UH Hilo leading Alaska Anchorage. 2 seconds on the timer. Box formation for a sideline out of bounds. It will be Kunert to bring it in. McHenry and Williams at the low block. Strong and Jenner at the high block. Inbound. McHenry, 18-footer, missed it short. Rebound to Alaska Anchorage. Shot clock and game clock separated by 1 to 2/10 of a second. 23 ticks to go. Carlberg dribbling out left angle, stops his dribble, and a timeout Alaska Anchorage as Carlberg had nowhere to go. 18.5 remaining. And we'll take this time to pause 10 seconds for station ID. You are listening to University of Hawaii Hilo men's basketball on KPUA.
You're listening to 670 AM KPUA Hilo and 98.5 FM K253CR Hilo, your home for Vulcan basketball.
Alongside Russ Blunk, I'm Josh Pacheco. 18.5 left, 75-72. UH Hilo leading Alaska Anchorage. That was a big timeout there called by Rusty Osborne. I believe he's got either 1 or 2 left. But a big timeout there knowing the defense was right there. The dribble was gone. If you've got the timeouts and he uses a full one here, use it because you can't take him home with you and you need this possession badly. And you don't need a 3 on this possession either. Yeah. So maybe you're drawing up a quick play.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to be hearing right now. Is he drawing up a 3-point play to get a pick out here on the perimeter and get the shot and then force UH Hilo to win it, or is he going to get a 2 and then foul quickly? Problem is when you foul quickly and the 2 guys that are inbounding the ball are McHenry and Williams are both really good free throw shooters, but that might be all you're left with here. One thing for sure, Josh, is these 2 teams are going to play again in a week. That'd be a game I'd like to see. And Totally different environment at the Alaska Airlines Center. 5,000, probably the most beautiful arena on the west in the West region for Division II. So the Vulcans will be up there in a week over Thanksgiving to take on these Seawolves and the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
UH Hilo on the floor has Jetter, Kunert, McHenry, Williams, and Hubble. Inbound coming right at the front of the Alaska Anchorage bench. They've got Carlberg right at the low block, trying to clear away his feet. Some moisture there. Inbound comes into David Rollins. Rollins, standing dribble between the rings, looking to clear people away. Down to 10 seconds. Bounce pass, high post right. Sweet squares up with 7. They're going to need a 3 now. Sweet looking right. Has nowhere to go at 4. With 3 to the right. Larson straight on for 3. It is no good. And UH Hilo hangs on. 75-72. And the Vulcan defense with its best defensive possession of the game, leaving no room whatsoever for Alaska Anchorage to come up with anything quality. And the Vulcans continue its hot start to the season, now 4-0.
You can't ask for any better defense on that possession than the Vulcans played. They had hands up, they had hands in the face, they met the picks, they slid off them, and there just really was not a good shot to be taken.
And Larson, to get that as well as he did, get that even close to the rim, and frankly nearly get it. I mean, it's a testament to him on his end for making that somewhat close. But at the end of the day, UH Hilo survives a double-digit lead that was exhausted, was brought back up. At one point, I believe it was to 8, and nearly collapsed again. But the Vulcans hold on, 75-72, the final score. We should hear from Coach Iona a little bit later on. We'll come back, go through some of the final numbers, give you some perspective on what is the Vulcans' 4th consecutive win to start the year, and continue UH Hilo's home winning streak, which is now at 9 games. 75-72, UH Hilo over Alaska Anchorage. You're listening to UH Hilo Basketball on KPUA.
Quitting smoking is hard because you're used to it. You've gotten used to the caffeine, and sooner than you think you'll get used to what's next too. Living on an oxygen tank, relearning to walk after a stroke, until one day, it kills you. And then your ohana will have to get used to that too. Or you can get a free quit plan from Hawaii Tobacco Quit Line that will help you stay off cigarettes for good, because that is something worth getting used to. Enroll now at hawaiiquitline.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Parents are responsible for protecting their children from danger. Today, there's an invisible danger. COVID-19 is in our communities. More children are sickened every day. The good news is we have a vaccine. We know it's safe and effective, and the FDA has authorized it for children ages 5 and older. We know you love your children. Your child's life is precious. Don't wait. Vaccinate. A message from the State Department of Health.
It is that time of year to reflect on life's bounties, to gather and give thanks for family, friends, good health, and a safe home. KTA Superstores has been with you through it all, providing the freshest produce, breads, meats, and dairy, and everything you need for the best Thanksgiving meal ever. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for holiday specials, the perfect recipes, and deals on ingredients. KTA Superstores, where you are someone special every day since 1916.
You heard right. Slices and Sticks is back and now available at Little Caesars for just $9. But have you heard this? You can get a free 2-liter Pepsi with any Little Caesars online purchase of $10 or more. That's right, I said free. Just download the app, add $10 or more of Little Caesars yumminess to your online cart, check out using promo code StartSippin6 and get a 2-liter Pepsi for free. That code again, StartSippin6, StartSippin, and the number 6. Check out littlecaesars.com for details.
Pizza.
KPUA. 75-72, UH Hilo wins over Alaska Anchorage, improving to 4-0 on the year. Head coach Kaniela Iona joins us now at our broadcast position. Coach, the ebbs and flows of that second half, how do you put into perspective how your team was able to survive with this one and pull it off?
Yeah, the guys are tough, and they battled the whole way, followed the game plan most of the way, but it's a young team, so we're going to find every possible way to make a mistake. We want to make them here early in the year. That's what these non-conference games are about. So, plenty of things to learn from. We intentionally made a tough schedule, to say the least, and we're just happy that we got a chance to get to 4-0 here today.
Coach, you get to see these guys again in a week, right? What'd you take away from this, and what'd you learn as you go up to Alaska next week?
Well, the coaches knew how tough they were, but now the players know. They felt them. They've got a great taste of how well coached and disciplined that team is, and they can really shoot the ball well. I mean, they didn't shoot it well this past weekend in their tournament in Oahu, and but you could tell tonight that they're a good shooting team. They got a good big man inside. They're unselfish. They run their stuff, and they really put your defensive principles to the test.
And let's talk about that last defensive possession with that final 18 seconds. Talk about what you were preaching to your guys going into that possession and how well they executed it.
They did great. I mean, that was obviously in a one-possession game when it comes down to that last defensive stop. All eyes are on you, and the guys did a great job of communicating, fighting through screens, being disciplined, really switching a lot of things there, but staying connected to the shooters. We told them that's the one thing that can hurt us here is them getting an open three off of this. So chase them like your life depended on it. And the guys did a good job there. Steven subbed in there down the stretch, Steven Hubble, and he was stuck to his man out there, didn't let them get a good one off.
This is one of those interesting nights where you had to deal with foul trouble. They did as well. Tate Jones dealt with foul trouble through a good chunk of this game. But you went to your role players at critical moments in the first half and the second half, and you told me earlier today that you wanted to continue to get those role players as much run as they could because they've been so important. And it certainly showed up again in this game, especially early when some of that stuff could have slipped away with fouls.
For sure. Peyton, Kiai had less minutes tonight. The problem with having three guys in that really like that glue guy position is that at some point somebody steps up and then one of the other guys loses a rotation out there. And I wish we could play them all equal minutes because they're all equally good and in their own different ways. But the guy, it's been that way. The bench has been they've been key for us. In all of our wins here down the stretch, we've had different guys finishing the game, different guys making plays. That's Hilo basketball. So it's not just about the guy who scores all the points. A number of guys can score, but the tough, gritty, blue-collar guys make a difference for us, and you see it on the record right now.
One guy did score a lot of points, though, so you got to mention him a little bit. Donald McHenry, who
Don't get me wrong.
Kind of blows me away. Still just seeing him for the third or fourth time, and doesn't play like a freshman at all. He's scored a lot of points in his life already, and but just so hard to guard. And at one point we saw they were trying to foul him, and they whiffed. He's elusive.
He's slippery, isn't he?
He is slippery.
Yeah, he's slippery. He's elusive. That's a great way to put it. He's a special young man, a special player. He's got a knack for putting the ball in the basket, and we ask him to do so. He's not a selfish player, though. The shots came his way tonight. The matchups came his way tonight. But if you see in some other games, less shots for him tonight. He had to get us through some stretches. He did a good job with Aniwa in foul trouble, playing only 20 minutes. Someone's got to step up and take those shots. And Don did a great job of doing it. Got downhill, got to the rim. He was good. He was good. Only turned it over once. He's more efficient than you would know.
Coach, last one for you. You've completed 6 games in 7 days. Now what do you guys do with yourselves?
Go sleep. Go sleep. I'll see these guys on maybe Friday or something. I don't know. I owe them a nice, pregame meal or postgame meal or something. I don't know. They all got to go ice bath tomorrow. We just need to take a break, catch our breath. Make sure that we stay on our studies, and we go next week. Our next one's against Lubbock Christian, who's top 5 in the country. They're legit. They're not just a good team this year. They're a great program. They were number 1 in the country, I believe, at one point last year. Like they're loaded, and that's going to be a tough one. Then that night we're gonna get back to weird things. Jump on a red eye. Get to Alaska. Play Anchorage again. Play Fairbanks. So we're putting this young team to the test early. Straight to the fire. So, but we're excited about this team, and the guys they're playing hard, learning how to play together. So it's all I could ask for.
College coaches are also like college professors and teachers. You always find the learning lessons to take away from anything. And a 4-0 start is not just a learning lesson; it's also a success. Coach, enjoy it. Thank you for the time, and good luck not only on Oahu against Lubbock Christian, but in Alaska. And we'll see you again next month here at home.
Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Appreciate you.
Connie Iona,
right,
UHH
go Vulcans.
Hilo head basketball coach. Hilo basketball, I think if there's one thing you take away when you heard Coach talk about how, hey, this is Hilo basketball, when you heard him say that, I think given what this crowd saw tonight, and I don't know what the attendance number was, Hilo basketball feels as alive and well as it has been in quite some time, and I didn't see that number. 327 people saw what was a really fun game, and I think based on games like this, Russ, when you have the result, when you have the toughness, when you have the grit, you're going to see more than 327 people the way this continues.
Yeah, I think so too. And I almost mentioned that during the game, that regardless of the outcome, it's a fun team to watch. Yeah. It really is. They have a lot of different components to them, and they run people in and out by design, as you heard Coach say. And it's an exciting team that can really do some fun things. So I think you're right. You've been here longer than I have, but the fans will come. They've been waiting for this. They didn't get a taste of it last year. They got a taste from afar when the team was 10-2, but people were on the bandwagon, and now they can come out. I think when people get more used to coming out, period, and going to public events during this weird time pandemic, that we'll start to fill this place up, because it really is a fun group to watch.
Absolutely. We'll come back and go through the final numbers and wrap it up here at the Fukuchidan Civic Auditorium. 75-72. UH Hilo now 4-0 with the win over Alaska Anchorage. You're listening to UH Hilo basketball at KPUA.
When it's getting close to game time, you don't need to waste time. Hit Monono Mini Mart for all your game day needs. Chips and dips, suds and sodas, and of course the best sandwiches in East Hawaii, including Monono's famous pastrami sandwich. Call in your order for sandwiches or party platters and they'll be ready for a quick pickup. Avoid the crowds and long lines at the big stores. Easy in, easy out. Monono Mini Mart's got you covered on Monono Street in Hilo, just across from Long Stadium.
Where to go for the best local and American grinds? You go to Kay's Drive-In on Hualalai. That's where, satisfying the Big Island's taste buds since 1964. Local favorites like tomato beef, chicken heka, or pork and peas, and American classics like their handmade burgers and deli sandwiches. And don't forget to finish it off with one of Kay's famous twist cones. Call the menu hotline at 935-5573 or follow on Facebook for Kay's Drive-In's daily specials.
Hey, cousin, what does kuleana mean to you?
That's one good question, cousin. To me, kuleana means more than just responsibility. Kuleana is also a commitment that we all have to take care of the people, places, and things around us. Kuleana to me is a kako thing, and is our duty to the lahui.
That's right. So remember, it's all our kuleana to malama ke kahi, or take care of one another.
Our island, our home, our kuleana.
The American Red Cross of Hawaii responds to disasters throughout our islands, provides emergency communication to the military, teaches preparedness classes, and more. And to do all this, they need your support. Become a Red Cross volunteer or make a donation today. Your contribution brings relief to those impacted by disasters in their darkest hours. Help save lives and give hope to those in need. Visit redcross.org/Hawaii and make a difference in our community.
KPUA. So how did we get to the 75-72 result for the University of Hawaii at Hilo? Let's tell you through our final stats. The Vulcans shoot just under 51% from the floor. This is a team shooting 48% coming into this game. 48% for the second half, 7 of 22 from outside the arc, and 10 of 13 from the free throw line. But you said it, Russ, as we were talking to Coach Iona just a moment ago. Donald McHenry is, I don't want to say growing up in front of us, because I don't necessarily every game in the regular season, not counting the exhibitions, and he is emerging as a true force that this Pac-West needs to get ready for.
Well, I liked what Coach Iona said. He's not forcing anything. He got to 26 points by taking 18 shots. That's not necessarily a lot. He made 11 of them, so well above 50%. So he, again, for me, it just doesn't seem like he's a freshman at all.
Absolutely. 11 for Aniwa Tate Jones. He fouled out after playing 20 minutes, 5 rebounds for him. 10 for Darren Williams to go along with 5 boards and a game-best 7 assists. 10 for Max Kunert, 3 for 6 from the floor. He had that big lay late in the game off of a pretty pass from Williams. Kunert hits a couple of trays, grabs a few rebounds. Hilo did get out-rebounded, but although it was minor, 34-33, 13-6 on the offensive glass. In a way, though, with Alaska Anchorage, they are a taller team. You almost kind of expected that coming in, even though Alaska Anchorage was being out-rebounded by an average of 8 over their first couple of games. For Alaska Anchorage, they shoot just under 44%, 9 of 23 from outside the arc, and most of that in that late scramble in the second half, and 9 of 18 from the free throw line. Hunter Sweet with a game-high 30 on 4 rebounds, 11 of 21 shooting. He hit 4 threes. Augie Pantovic went through foul trouble, 13.7 rebounds, 10 apiece for Tobin Karlberg, and 10 for Caleb Larson off the bench. Free throws, 9 of 18. Oof. And that they came in shooting 47.4% from the free throw line. They shoot 50% for this game. Not a very good number. But at the end of the day, Hilo scores more points in the paint, which is almost an undervalued number, I think, coming out of this game against the type of team they were going up against. And where Hilo can be at its best when going up against anybody, 14-3 in fast break points. And that was such a critical number, especially at key moments. Ultimately, Russ, 4-0, and how they've gotten to 4-0 against the teams that they've had to do it against, and I'm going to add in the exhibitions even though they don't count against the record, the types of opponents they've had to play in these first 6 games, including the exhibitions. This is almost like real quality on-the-job training, although you're training for about 6 different jobs, because every job seems to be so difficult with the type of team that you have to go up against. But the fact that they've had to do that and have been successful and grown based on that, that speaks volumes with this group, whether we're talking about veterans or we're talking about some of the young guys that are growing into this program.
Right. When you look at the roster, we've got 6 freshmen that play a lot, and some of those are second-year freshmen in this weird COVID thing. So I wanted to ask Coach Iona, I kind of forgot, was this everything he thought it would be, the 6 games in 7 days? Did he get everything out of it? I'd be surprised if he said no, because you came out of it 4-0 and you beat a Division I team, and your losses don't count, to Pacific and Hawaii. So, but yeah, like you said, now they got a little bit of time off, but then they got a pretty, they've got 3 games next week and 2 really tough ones in Alaska and Lubbock Christian.
You've been around this program for several years, and I feel like this is a fitting question to ask you. What does this start mean, I think, to this program? With Coach Iona now in his second year, local boy through and through, back home, closing in on a house soon. I mean, what does this start say to the trajectory of this program?
Well, the excitement's been there from the minute that he signed his first contract, and partially because he has like 200 family members and, as he says, 100 cousins, in the area, and everybody knows somebody that knows Connie Ellis. So he's a great human being. That's part of it. People are going to follow him, and basketball, that's where the question shifts back to you. Right. You've seen a lot of basketball here in this town, and if there's a good team, might take a little bit while, but folks are going to come in here, and I hope they come in droves to watch a team that's really good, but also a program made up of good people, and that's one of the things Coach Iona stresses. He tries to build these Ohana that way with good group of. They're polite. They'll come shake your hands, and so I think it means a lot to our school and to our community, and it's just we're all really excited for the future.
And you said it really well. I think COVID-19 certainly, and whatever restrictions are remaining. Yeah, there was a lot of weather outside. I'm so glad we got to do this, not only for our video stream for the folks watching at HiloAthletics.com. I'm so glad we got to do this on radio.
Yeah.
On KPUA for those that couldn't make it just because of the weather and everything. But you're right. People know good things when they see it, and the outward show of this team, from coaching staff all the way down to the very last guy on the bench, is something you cannot not notice. And this community especially, and you've known it incredibly well. And I moved away for a couple of years, but it never leaves. It's still home. And this community always embraces really good. Even if really good doesn't necessarily mean wins and losses, they embrace quality. They embrace something that's honest. They embrace something that is connectable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can deny how much of a connection that you find with this group.
Yeah, I agree totally, and you see it, and you've been here, one game, and I know you saw them at Manoa, but that's you nailed it, because that's it. Folks will come out. If you've got a good product. You don't have to win the conference every year, but you provide quality entertainment with good people and a good coach, and they're going to come. Want to make sure we thanked Chris Leonard. You mentioned getting us on radio.
Yes.
We're also on 98.5 now, and also Athletic Director Patrick Guillen for opening that door, but looking forward to having you around to do these games and be a part of this Vulcan program again.
Absolutely. Thank you to Pat for the opportunity to be here, and Chris and Stan back in our studio for his great work tonight.
Yep.
And Russ, thank you. I mean, I know you have been the voice of this program for several years, and as long as you continue into retirement number 100, you'll always be one of the voices of this program. So I'm sure at some point on retirement number 8, I'll be working a game with you again.
I hope so. It's really been fun. It's great to have you back.
It's such a thrill for me to get to work with you, Russ. Great job, and a great job by our entire team here on site and also behind the scenes in our studio. For our great crew, Russ Blunk, Josh Pacheco. Final score one more time, Hawaii Hilo 75 and Alaska Anchorage 72. You've been listening to University of Hawaii Hilo Basketball on KPUA. Good night from the Afuchinen Civic Auditorium.
The following was a special presentation of KPUA Sports. We return you now to regular station programming.
Happy holidays! I'm Michelle Soga, a nurse practitioner and proud member of Big Island Docs. November is here, and that means the beginning of the holiday season. It can also be the season of overeating, uncontrolled drinking, and therefore dreaded weight gain. I'm here to provide a few tips to help you realize a healthier holiday season. First, stay on your regular eating schedule. Don't save yourself for the huge banquet because you'll tend to overeat the wrong foods. Try to avoid sugary drinks. Stick with water or non-caloric drinks. If you must drink alcohol, drink a glass of water between drinks to dilute the impact. However, don't beat yourself up if you do overindulge. After all, 'tis the season. Just remember to get back to your healthy eating, exercise, and adequate sleep schedule following the festivities. Remember, the holiday focus should be more about being with loved ones rather than how much you can load on your plate. Here's to a happy and healthy holiday season from Big Island Docs.
The American Red Cross of Hawaii is looking for volunteers to co-lead their preparedness program. Your help is needed to recruit and train presenters for various preparedness programs to help educate our community and keep our community safe. Volunteers will complete all the trainings for the preparedness programs and help monitor the training of new presenters. Then you will help to carry this important information into the community. Interested in becoming a volunteer?